medical study on the effects of marijuana use confirms that everyone knows you're high and that you'll most likely never stop feeling like this.
Your parents know you're high. Your friends know you're high. Strangers on the street know you're high.
Welcome to Everyone Knows You're High. Hosted by Uncle Kalei.
You're gonna never come back, you know, all that stupid shit.
And Uncle Eric.
If I could retreat away.
Yeah, you should definitely try that.
This is forever. This is the new reality.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Still shitty at that clap.
I'll allow it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Everyone Knows You're High, starring the great and gregarious grow guru, Kalei. I'm the co-host trying to keep up with this exceptional human being.
Jesus Christ.
I tried. It was lame. It was a weak ass.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Man. I appreciate
You should do some of these intros, actually.
No, you're doing such a good job,
Okay.
and you just totally made me feel fucking special.
Awesome. And our special guest today, so I'm going to scoot over because I know I probably am out of frame. Get back in this shit. Our special guest today is the one and the only, the Hawaiian alchemist, Topher.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
And-
having me.
Thank you for the spread
That
tonight.
exceptional meal.
Unreal.
Glad you guys enjoyed it.
So we're going to fucking definitely talk about all that shit you cooked up for us
Definitely.
earlier this evening.
Oh, yeah.
But first, are you going to light that shit?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Baccio with some sour diesel live resin.
Nice. All right. And while he's lighting that, we got a couple questions that we ask all of our guests. And the first one being, when was the first time you got high?
First time I got high was I bought a spliff from from the ex-girlfriend, or the girlfriend at the time when I was 16, from her brother. And she was completely just enthralled like that. You suck, why are you smoking? And we're
Yeah.
16, 17, so it's
Right.
just really stole my mom's Benson and Hedges and rolled it with my rolled it with the 1 gram that he overcharged me for like $30.
Oh.
And yeah.
So what'd you do? Roll out all the tobacco and dump it out
Oh,
and
yeah.
then fucking just pack it in?
Yeah.
Filter on, filter off.
Filter on.
Oh.
Still a touch of menthol in
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. Still with
on the
touch of
paper.
menthol. Yep.
Right on. And did you get high that first time?
Yes. It was in my room,
Oh.
and I, just not knowing better, that, oh shit, smoke in my own room. Opened up the window, just started blowing out of there. No, good, thank you. Yeah. But that also led to doing some research of how do you smoke? Because I'm not old enough to buy a pipe and all this other stuff. So you get ingenuity, and so you
Right.
get the old school soda can.
The avocados come out.
The avocados, the strawberry, the apple. And so, you can look at, Anarchist Cookbook and figure it out.
And that's how the Hawaiian alchemist came to be.
Bum, bum, bum. By the way, since you just did it, bless the new ashtrays we got. We got the 1 ashtray. Everyone knows your high merch. Yep.
In
Limited run, 1 only. Go fuck yourself if you want one. Sorry.
In
Too
time.
bad. Should probably make one for spells just as a mahalo.
Of course.
Yeah.
Shout out to Spells for the
Shout
the
out
logo.
to Spell.
Yes, as always.
Oh, my man.
And do you recall the first time you ever had that feeling when you knew everyone knew you were high?
Oh, that first time? It actually wasn't until recently where, for the longest time, kind of just in the cannabis closet.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wasn't until maybe I was 35 because I worked in the food industry for so long, so everybody already knows you're high.
Right.
Would it be recreational or illicit drugs in that sense? Because that's exactly what our world is.
In that sense, smoking weed is like the most innocent thing you could do.
It is.
Yeah.
It's also the one thing that we would bake into cookies and eat on the line. So you maintain the high until you're done with service. But it wasn't until where my parents and everything realized that, hey, he's high. It's I had that expectation of being the firstborn son in the family, and they were like, whoa, my brother, he's the younger brother, so he's the baby of the family. So he was given, he was the one that everybody knew that he got, he would come home drunk, he was high. He was like hide out in my dad's office with the AC blasting on for like 12 hours, passed out on the desk. I'm like, hey, move! I gotta get on the internet so I can look at porn. But
brothers.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest. But it wasn't until recently, like 35 or whatnot, where they're like, oh wow, you smoke? I'm like, yes, I do. Because after so many years of working in the restaurant industry, your body just doesn't do it. It's a young man's game.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
So how long have you been like working in restaurants and doing all that shit before you ventured out on your own, I guess?
Working in restaurants since I was about 17, 16.
Nice.
If anybody out there, I'm going to age myself. I am 42, so I have that Filipino vampire blood going.
You fucking do not look 42 at all, you son of a bitch.
Just turned 42 in September.
Fuck,
So
happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, Virgo
Fuck.
season, yes.
For the 8th
42,
millennia.
Yeah, for
26.
the 26.
It's the 42nd millennia you've been alive.
Yes. But for anybody who's in that age range, Mapuna Puna in Moanalua, there was a little restaurant called Jumbo's Catering, or Jumbo's, home of the fried men.
Yes.
So I'm originally from Moanalua. Go Manny's. So, yeah, we're the rich high school. Sorry. We took everybody else's money.
Salt Lake.
But yeah, so we ended up just taking all that stuff.
Yeah.
But worked as a small little like line cook, breakfast cook for a while. Fast paced. 17-year-old, like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, I don't, I fucking watched Food Network when it first started, and I'm like, wow, cool. This is. Emeril Lagasse, yeah, he's badass. No, and then you get in the kitchen, it's like nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're just inundated and killed, and you're dying, and every day you come home, your shoes are greasy.
So could I add to that? I know I'm off camera for a little bit, but
Hey, Anu, we should mention we got fucking turtle
here.
doves.
Up in the gorilla position, guess what we got?
And fucking Mike fucking
Butt naked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm sorry, I always forget butt naked. I can't remember which one to say and which one not to
sometimes
say.
you forget.
Butt
and-
naked. Off the fucking camera here, fucking running all the technical shit like
Adding
the
the 2
wizards they
cents
are.
once in a while.
Yes, Anu, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Well, good thing I still remember my question because I almost forgot for a second. But I mean, watching them Food Network and everything on television, like, who are your inspirations
Ooh, that's a good question.
for the culinary arts? I mean, like, watching all of that go down, it had to nail you at some point, down where the passion starts.
Well, that's the one question that I actually don't like, just because it sounds so cliche.
you the one who did it. I thought it was gonna be me.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's such a cliche question.
Well, I'll be the
it's
one. I will
in
be
the,
the one.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah. No, it's completely cool because
I am
you get it
Neo, okay.
all the time, and you actually, if you ask any like chef and whatnot,
Mhm.
they'll talk and say, "Hey, my mom is the one that inspired me to cook."
Right.
Single mom, growing up. I'm a latchkey kid, so you better learn how to make rice before they get home. Spaghetti, chili, all the simple stuff. I have two older sisters, but they were already in high school, so they already had like extracurriculars. And then my brother's about 2 years younger than I was, so I kind of landed in that
Jan
spot.
Brady category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
At least get the dinner started, so when mom and dad get home, fucking you can start fucking.
Just getting high, and then go to the family dinner, and you're gonna ask you all about your day.
Yeah, well, that's why you're the only one home. No.
Just smoke weed in your backyard and
Yeah.
hope your neighbors don't smell it and rat
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question, Anu.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna be asking more throughout the night. So.
yeah, but
Thanks,
yeah, my
thanks.
mom is the one that had influenced me probably the most, and it's also engraved that responsibility. Single mom, all females in the family till my brother was born, and so I have that home economic spirit, that
I like that.
taking care of and understanding understanding women and exactly how to exist in a world filled of just females. And so it becomes a little different. But other chefs, they come and go. They all have their trends, and they're all part of the timing.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best thing where they start becoming influential throughout the years. Where somebody comes up like Dave Chang, Emerald Lagasse, I'll say one, David Rosengarten, the Galloping Chef on PBS, or the Galloping Gourmet. On
Never
PBS.
heard of that person. Is that a lady or a dude?
That's a dude. Yeah,
Nice.
Julia Child.
Julia
it's
Child.
very simple. Yan Ken Cook.
Yes.
So
And
all those PBS chef shows, if you ever watch them, like chefs of New Orleans, chefs of San Francisco, and this is all before Food Network became a big thing.
Right. What about like local chefs? Like when Sam Choi, he had TV show, fucking Chai, fucking.
Right.
He had a TV show. Like, did you grow up watching any of those shows or? Fuck, damn it, you were already old when those shows were on. Never mind.
No, well, Let's Go Fishing.
Harry
Uh,
Kojima.
Harry
shit,
Kojima.
okay.
That was
Electric-
my favorite.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
And you had
Yes.
the Electric Kitchen after the Let's Go Fishing on
Yes.
Sunday,
Mhm.
where
Auntie
KO Chen
Nani's
still did
cooking
this.
channel.
Yep.
man.
Yeah, you still had all that stuff still. And you're still picking up the recipe at times. When you collect the sticker and you put it on the super card,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So all those recipes, all those things came from there. You had the like those fun fairs from like all the schools where the parents and everybody would donate a recipe and create a cookbook. And then so I still have all those from.
No
that.
shit. Huh?
Yeah, I have
Damn,
all
that's
those,
fucking
and then
cool.
it's pretty cool. It's also pretty sad when you go back on it and you're like, wow, hey, I used to make this shortbread recipe and it's still there. I still use it to this day. But to the Kuromotos, I'm sorry, it's the mom had passed away type of thing. So it becomes a treasure.
Yes.
Not only within just the book of what I learned and how to make food, it's also it can be also a lost art because even the family may not know that I still have that recipe or I still
Right.
have that cookbook.
Right.
Or if maybe they don't make it anymore.
Have you ever tried to reach out or like find
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
they're still living?
Yeah, some of them,
That's cool.
like some of them are, I've went through high school completely with them, and you still talk to high school people and whatnot, and actually this gives me a good chance to clear it up. Topher is actually the second half part of Christopher, and so Christopher.
Right.
So there's a lot of people that don't know that, but also when I go to the store and someone calls me like, "Hey, what's up, Chris?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's someone from high school."
Oh.
So I turn around and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?"
You instinctively know what time of your life they're
Yes.
calling you.
But
Yeah.
that's interesting with like recipes, right? So like recipes is not only like a timestamp to when that person put their thoughts on paper, but it's also giving you their paintbrush. So it's like, all right, here's my paintbrush. This is the tools I use to make this painting.
Yeah.
Right. So you look in on it. It's a timestamp of how that person did his painting at that particular time.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's more than just making a meal. It's like it's a historic, historic fucking mark that you can always refer back to.
Yep.
So like my grandma's blood sausage recipe,
Yep.
right?
It's
We
a
s- we
snapshot
gotta work
of
on that.
Yeah. It's a snapshot of history.
Yeah.
And into this day, like when you go and check out like authentic places, when they say like or in just general not authentic food, like anything from like orange chicken, that's recipes from like 1930.
Right. It's not like a fucking.
We're still eating that stuff
Yeah.
to this day.
Right.
French onion soup, 1942.
Right.
In Paris. So
Yeah.
it's a snapshot of history, and we're still eating and enjoying the same thing all these years.
Well, even the ingredients, like some ingredients were like famine foods,
Yep.
but now we use it in fucking high dine cooking.
Yeah.
Like tripe.
Yep.
Famine food.
I love tripe.
Bingo, brother.
Tripes
Yeah.
too, baby.
But when it
Yep.
comes to like someone's family recipe, that's like unique to their lineage and the way their family did it, and you have that recipe, or like, do you feel like you have to not fuck with it and not change it?
No, you gotta fuck
Or
with
can
it.
you fuck?
Personally, I
Not
wouldn't.
can you fuck with it and like make it your own? And but then does that?
Yes, amen.
But then will that fucking?
You had different. You ever eat tribe? Well,
I don't.
sorry,
I
sorry,
don't
sorry.
think. I
You've
don't
never
think it'll.
Get this
eaten
man a
tribe.
chair. Come on.
Recipe like
I got a bucket.
disappearing, or you know what I mean?
No, well, that leads into not only like paying respect and being respectful of
Mhm.
any recipe that you have that's from like long ago, but that starts reaching into like cultural appropriation,
Yes.
Right,
which it depends. It's such a
It's like menudo. It's
yeah.
like menudo, right?
It's a hypocritical thing where it's
Right.
like some things you can fuck with, some things you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not,
Fuck
if
with
you're not French or you're not Italian, then or if you're not
Don't
Hawaiian,
fuck with it.
you can't fuck with it. You
No,
know.
I don't. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like if you can make just good food, everybody should just be like, it's cool. You know,
Yeah.
it's never, if you're making good food and everybody's happy, you're never disrespecting it because
Right,
you're
totally.
the whole point of making food for people is to nourish them and make them happy.
Right.
So if I want to make, some freaking whacked out, I don't know.
Hot dogs.
No, like a version
Well, I
of
used to
someone.
work for a hot dog, so
Like a version of someone's cinnamon roll that you just add a little fucking tweak of this and that and make it a little different. Yeah, that's
Or if I want to fuck with
100%.
Simon,
right. Like,
yeah.
or is that like a thing? Like, because if it like at a certain point in time, does a recipe become like?
Well, I think we're
free
deriving
game?
off of the original question. So it's like,
Because it does
I
get into
gave-
cultural appropriation, which
right,
is ridiculous.
but we're not talking about cultural appropriation at this time because that recipe could be biased, right? So,
And you don't know where it came from.
right. So like, let's use my grandma's recipe, right, for blood sausage. Fucking, I'm still trying to figure it out. She's born here, right? It's a Portugal dish from Portugal that we've been fucking handed down, but each individual time it's been passed down, it's been changed a little bit.
Mhm.
So it's derived.
Mhm.
But like, by the time it reached my grandma, she's lost touch with what it's supposed to be back at the homeland.
the root.
Right. So, do you still call it a cultural
But
appropriation?
the base is the same. But that's her culture. It's not like she's a white lady
Well,
taking
yeah.
some Portuguese blood sausage
Yeah,
and
but let's-
trying to make like. That's what
let's-
cultural appropriation is referring to.
Well, let's say I give that recipe to Topher, right? And he does his thing with it, which is fucking bomb. Now, it derived from my grandma's recipe, but it's better now. Right?
I agree
Yeah.
100%. But here's the thing: fucking irritating people will say that's cultural appropriation, but it's not. You know what I mean? That's recipe. That's your family recipe that you have the authority by being of that family to gift to whoever you want. If you say my friend can make it, I'm gonna share it with you, and
Yeah.
he can do whatever he wants with it, then he can do whatever
Yep.
he wants.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
And it's you have to look at it when and
A
be
pack of
like,
seeds.
yeah, it's like no, hey, guess what? It's not authentic.
But that's
You
how
know,
other good
that's what it's-
foods are.
And that's what it comes down to. It comes down
If
to
it's like
can I make
family
something good?
secret, then,
Yeah.
You know.
If I can make if I were to make it and I gave it to you guys, I gave it to Clay and be like, hey, how does it taste? And they enjoy it, is it better or is it still the same? But you're still enjoying it. It's not a cultural appropriation.
Does it really even matter if it's the same or different if somebody just likes it?
Yeah, there is no
Right.
difference in it
'Cause it's
as
not
long
like-
as you're enjoying the food.
But I think that's the beautiful thing about food is
Mhm.
cultural appropriation has such a big buffer when it comes down to culinary experiences.
It does.
Right? It's like, oh yeah, some people I'm from Texas and this is how we do steak, but a dude goes with ketchup on it. It's like, you're
Ugh.
fucking a mistake, but to whose eyes? Oh, sorry, to whose eyes? You know what I mean? It's still like they think it's like, oh, you're fucking up something that's part of my culture by putting ketchup on it. In actuality, it's better for that person, and that's what they like. So
Yeah.
there is no cultural appropriation when it comes to fucking food. You know what I mean? In my opinion,
Yeah.
I think it's like
We're all raised different too.
Yeah.
That's
How
the
do you
most-
feel about places that don't even put ketchup out? They don't give you condiments. The chef made it this way. This is how you're gonna fucking eat it.
I love that shit.
Look, I didn't notice any condiments out here earlier when we were eating.
I love it because the chef should
Knows
be the
what's what.
artist, right?
He knows us what.
You're paying for the chef's expertise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're not fucking paying, if you're paying all this money and you just have fucking ketchup right there, you may have ruined all the chef's work in trying to
Yeah, it's-
express what he wants to.
Not
It's
unless
not
you left-
cultural appropriation. It's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
I mean, well, it's also too like did he mean to put ketchup out there? Because some people like that. That's the thing.
Well, if it's out there, then it must be for use, right?
Yeah,
Then
that's
yeah.
exactly. So it's on purpose to put it
Yeah.
out there. So it's I like there's some dinners where I'll put ketchup and mustard out and be like,
No.
hey, you know what? Do whatever you want.
Right.
Because, or if you're gonna ask me, hey, could I get mayonnaise on the side for my, lao lao, or and be like, hey, you know what? Whatever.
And I don't think Kalei was shitting on ketchup on steak. He's just using it
Oh,
as
no,
an
no, no,
example.
yeah, no, no,
An
no.
example.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's in fact, I like
It's like
ketchup.
having poi and someone put sugar on it. Sorry, not sorry.
Why? People do. I do. Fuck. Get mad. Who gives a shit? What?
Actually,
I got a sweet tooth, man. I like my shit sweet.
Take some paella, cut it, put some sugar on it, throw on the grill, or put in the butter
See,
and pan.
Now that
See?
that's
What-
such a perfect example, right?
Wait, on a grill, on a pan, on a grill?
Or either way. So you can
Smoky little poi.
either yeah, or you put it butter and you sprinkle a little sugar on the paella slice and then fry it.
Yep.
So you get caramelization. So
Yep.
basically you get caramelized paella. But see, poi sugar.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then too, like leftover poi the next day. If you were to put sugar in it, all of a sudden you can like ferment it longer and throw it into bread. So it's all like just mental parts and just playing,
Right.
Watching game footage.
And that's still not cultural appropriation.
Putting sugar in poi?
No.
Oh.
Him frying the
Sorry.
fucking poi.
No.
And doing
Well, I'm
this
also
thing to it.
Hawaiian, so
Right. But
Well,
say like as like a general thing, right? Like say like fucking all right, I got poi. I give
Yeah.
it to a chef and he's like, "All right, let's fucking fry it." It's still not wrong because it still fits into that general dessert that he's trying to prepare, right? It's not like it's not poi per se anymore.
yeah,
It's a puree that you're going to use. Just so
Mhm.
happens it's bomb ass fucking puree that's been a little old.
Yeah. poi fucking hummus, whatever.
Fuck.
Poi
Yeah.
hummus.
Yeah,
Word. Dude, ulu hummus is pretty fire.
yeah.
I think I might have had ulu hummus and not even like knowing it was like a thing. It was just does good hummus.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? You know what I mean? It wasn't like this is this. I think it was just out there and I tried it. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, fuck,
add,
this is
add
bomb.
enough butter, add enough soy sauce, add enough something to
comes
anything
good.
comes good
Little
anyway.
roasted
And I-
fucking sesame seeds on the
Yeah.
top.
I
Not
learned
sesame seeds,
so
sunflower
much from
seeds.
his ass, like just watching him cook. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, go home, try it out. Holy
yeah.
shit, man.
Oh yeah,
That red sauce, oh my god, dude.
Well, not only a lesson in cooking, a lesson in fucking multitasking. Holy fuck.
That was nuts, Al.
It's a one-man show. I left the time lapse on. Insert here. Fucking of this guy jamming the fucking table. Fuck. It's amazing to watch it in real time, but it's even more nuts to watch in like time lapse when you're just fucking working everything. That's fucking amazing.
In like, what, 30, 40 minutes, everything was ready.
Maybe a little longer.
Oh, we have a
Maybe a little
question.
longer.
Maybe
I
a
repeat,
little
we
longer.
have a question coming in.
Questions are coming in.
Downtown, all right?
Whoa.
So since we're on cultural appropriation,
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought it was going to be about food.
what
Oh.
culture inspired you most?
Oh.
Very good fucking
Thank you.
I'm throwing
I-
darts. I got one more after. So.
First of
Yeah,
all,
no,
I
no.
like the way you set that question up because it took me on an emotional roller coaster. And whoever that was, thank you for the question. That was a good one.
It made him feel
Yeah,
something.
that's
It made me nervous, actually.
So what the question is? So
that's a
what?
big wiener.
So the question is what cuisines inspired me? Is that what the question
What
is?
culture?
What
Culture.
culture inspired me? It's so many. I've always gravitated to something classical like French cuisine, because there's a foundation for it. I've never gone to culinary school, and from what I've learned from friends who've gone to culinary school, your most basic foundation is French cooking. So
All you fucking overachievers.
well,
Yeah.
French.
I
You
saw
don't
a
need
lot
to go
of-
to
I saw a lot of
school.
French cooking
So what
in your
exactly
desserts.
makes French
It was
cooking?
the desserts.
well,
Cheese.
It was the desserts, Eric. I swear it was the desserts.
Fromage.
That's what took me on my
Fromage.
roller coaster was the desserts.
The
Yeah.
desserts?
Yes.
Well-
well, there was alcohol in it. So
I don't
don't
know, man.
think
You
it was
got the
cooking.
escargot, which what stands out to me for French cuisine.
yeah, that too.
Ooh. It's
Sorry,
Um,
I'm trying to keep up with Anu was saying, so we're going to just...
Yeah, it's
sorry, I'm
the
from downtown.
it's the what makes French cooking is just the classics, because it's stems from French brigade style where where the uniforms come from is like a military style and all that kind of stuff, and it starts coming down to a
It's like roasted birds.
yeah, roasted birds, peasant food. Some of the peasant food now becomes elevated food.
Right.
You're looking at escargot, and it's like
Right.
that's snails.
Right,
and then all of a sudden, it's now in a French
Fancy,
fancy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Caviar, it's from fish. It's fish eggs.
It's OP
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Or it's it's that kind of stuff, and then from caviar, cassoulet, where it's just a stew, but elevated with duck fat and all this other stuff. Then it starts taking on a
Confit.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's all technique based,
Yeah.
and it's the French are the ones who really established, the foundation of cooking and how it should be. So, that's what what I was told that people went to school for, was to teach them how to do, French cooking as a foundation.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not going to shit on anybody who went to culinary school, because I have a lot of friends who have. I know a lot of chefs that are still love the fact is that a foundation is key, and I completely believe in a foundation. Everything from knife skills to breaking down, butchery and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you can learn that in the kitchen too. But you just take a little longer. So the road to working in being a chef, or being called a chef in an actual professional kitchen, is two different routes.
Yep.
So.
And it's two different pressures too. There's a pressure that comes with being in school and just like having to go to class all the time and show up, and I don't know, there's all that extra shit.
Yeah,
But there's,
and
like,
and
the real world-
$150,000 for tuition.
Right.
Dead when you're done. Yeah.
However, applied knowledge is more valuable than
I was gonna say, but
learn
the
knowledge.
pressure of like learning in the fire in the kitchen from
Can't beat it,
a
dude.
chef who's gonna be a dickhead to you because you're fucking new and you don't know shit.
Yeah.
Well, look at the productivity.
But really,
that
he
just happened.
appreciates you because you are helping, and they really want to teach you in the long run.
They always do.
Yeah.
100%. Even for any young, like, aspiring chef that wants to go into cooking, it's either you have a choice. You can go and learn it, but also, be prepared that it's not the same as learning academically. When you're thrown into a hotline and be like, hey, you got to take on 15 orders. They don't teach you how to do 15 orders and multitask like that in
Right.
culinary school.
Right.
So you learn that on applied knowledge, but also on applied knowledge, sometimes you get like lost in that spectrum of like, all right, I learned how to do 50 orders at once. I can clean and break down everything. I know how to do certain like dishes and sauces, but how do I learn how to break down fish? How do I specialize in breads? How do I do pastry? And that's where
Like
school,
master a
Yeah.
discipline.
yeah, and that's where schooling comes in, because they give you a nice
Foundation.
foundation base. So anybody who wants to do cooking, look at doing both, but you'll learn a lot more working in an actual kitchen.
And
Jump in the
Hawaii-
file.
KC does have a good like culinary program too, right? They
They
got
do.
that fucking restaurant that.
Oh, yeah, it's great food.
That kids run.
Oh yeah,
The students run. Bro, I heard it was fucking bomb.
it's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to KCC.
Hell yeah.
All you
KCC.
students out there still working hard. Yep.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Not a sponsor yet.
Cool. Give them that.
Yeah.
Give them that.
No.
For the kids, man.
Yeah. Or guys, you can give me a call back, and I can start doing more talks in the labs.
Have you gone and like talked to like the students in the culinary program there?
It's been a long time since I've been back.
But
Yeah.
But you've done that? That's
I've done
cool.
it. Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Word.
And so, how many restaurants do you think you fucking worked at, dude?
Let's see.
A lot.
A lot.
Like more than 10?
More than 10. Yeah.
Holy shit.
More than 10.
From
Uh,
all ranging like fine dining to fucking hole in the wall kind, or
Yeah,
like
from mom and pops to fine dining to like regular like hot dog stands.
yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah, Hank's Hot Dogs. Shout out to Henry out there.
Is that the one that was in international
Waffle.
marketplace?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he had
re-
both.
Yeah.
But worked in a fine dining hot dogs, and then
What?
oh yeah, we can do a menu that way at once.
There you
But
go.
after that, went into French bistro, done fine dining, new American. I've done Italian, Sorrento's before they closed down.
No shit, huh?
Yeah. So,
Was that the before Palominos?
that was after. Palominos.
After.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Showing my age.
Palominos. Fuck, dude.
Super smoky. Like, yeah, you come home and you just smell like fucking Kiavi wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, so
What was that? Say that into the mic. Still can't. Nobody can hear you. I can barely hear you either.
that's like
Sure
Charlie
is.
Brown in the back.
Wah, wah. Yeah.
He's just feeling good over there. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
it
that
is.
rum cake.
Oh, that was
Doesn't
super.
most of the alcohol burn off when you cook with Alcohol?
See what I'm saying?
Well, fuck, we've been smoking too, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's a fat too.
Yeah.
Still
But
going.
it's a no, not 100% of the alcohol. There's
Not
still some
enough to
res-
get you drunk unless you ate like 8 of those donuts.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I didn't burn it off completely. I more diluted it just so you still get more of that flavor.
Right.
But in that dish, it was really just it wasn't too strong.
Yeah. Because I think I would know if I was like feeling alcohol because I don't drink at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if it was affecting me, I would like.
I don't know. I saw somebody go back for peaches like how many times?
Fuck, those are good. Okay, let's actually talk about the fucking.
Still getting that.
Yeah.
You're so lucky you can eat.
Yeah.
Nah,
Don't
nah.
eat on the podcast.
Just don't
Yeah.
eat during. Just
Well,
don't chew on the mic.
he was not talking about elderflower, so that's what the peaches. The peaches soaked in that elderflower.
There was a whole discussion about whether or not we were gonna eat or not on the podcast, and I just want to let all you listeners know you're fucking welcome. We will not be chewing during this podcast, unless
And-
Anu does it behind our backs. Topher, you gotta keep an eye.
He thought about it. He
I
was
tell
like,
you what,
"Ooh,
man.
let me
Topher,
try
you
it.
gotta
Let me
keep an
try
eye
it."
For
on that guy.
YouTube's sake, I think it would have been good for YouTube's
I'm just
sake.
gonna go
That
off
way,
mic
like,
again
you
and
could
enjoy the
literally
speech
have
here.
it fucking like.
Yeah.
Nah, because we got the magic of fucking television. So,
Shout
but
out to Mike.
so let's fucking get into the fucking. Hey, what was the guy's name? 84, 94, fucking grown. You.
Wow.
That was. Look into the
Diversify
camera.
your vocabulary.
Which
I mean-
one? Yeah. That's fucking. Exactly.
That's so.
Well, the answer to that question
Nah,
is
thank you for at
no.
least commenting, though. I know I
Something's
swear
better
a
than
lot.
nothing.
Yeah, I swear a lot. I know. You're not like pointing anything I'm unaware of. But, okay, fucking focus.
Can I ask another question?
Oh, sure. Before we get into it, go ahead.
Guess the word is right.
I don't know. I don't think it's even a question. I put umami out there. Does that?
Who put umami out there?
I don't know.
What does umami
exactly
mean?
What is
Ooh,
exactly
there you go.
umami? Is it a mushroom? Is it?
No. What is umami?
It's a,
It's a sensory thing.
okay.
So it's you have your normal like 6 senses, or 5 senses actually technically. But I mean, if you take psychedelics, then it's gonna be 6 senses. So, umami is a type of sense where it's a blend of so many things, from taste to smell to texture.
Feeling. Yeah.
Is it more savory? Is it sweet?
Doesn't matter, right?
Is
It's
it
it's a
euphoric?
combination of all of that. So it's savory, sweet, salty.
But
Is
isn't
Is
it?
it euphoric?
Is it
though?
all of
It can
those
be.
and none of those? Because aren't those like the things savory, sweet, sour, umami? That
Yeah.
was the fucking.
It's it's
Right?
one of those. It's a word that you can't translate. So it's that's the best way to describe it. Where umami is all that put together.
Is it even a real word
It's
in
like a positive
Japanese?
It is.
experience.
It is.
Yeah.
And what is it must be the hardest word to define. It's like a whole page in their Japanese dictionary of like trying to explain what
It's like
umami
the movie
means.
Dictator when he changes the word of like to yes, no, and everything else.
I don't remember what that means.
Can it be comparable to like ono? Like it's ono, like the umami.
Ono would be oishi, right? Delicious.
Yeah.
Oishi
Yeah.
desu
Yeah. Yeah. Ono is a more of an explanation of like how it tastes and how it is. You know, like this food is delicious. This food is ono. You never really be like, oh, umami.
Is there a Hawaiian equivalent for an umami?
I'm not that Hawaiian. So
Oh, okay.
I have to
Sorry.
answer.
All right. I don't know.
I'm Hawaiian, but not that Hawaiian.
Umami is like a satisfactory or like extraordinary experience of what you've just had. Correct?
Sort of. Yeah,
Right.
it's one of those things you're gonna have to Wikipedia and then put it flash on the screen here.
Yeah,
Here?
well, you're sitting in front of a computer connected to the internet, homeboy.
And why are you gonna ask us questions when you can Google it right now?
Nah, that's good. Thank you for asking.
No, it's a good question. Yeah.
But now you should test all of our answers and see what it really.
Yeah.
See what Webster says. I thought it was if it tastes good and it makes you say, "Ooh, mommy." And that's what it means.
Umami. That's fucking funny.
All right, so thank you for those questions, Anu.
So the dinner tonight.
Who asked that?
Fucking.
Is somebody on live? Fucking.
So the dinner tonight. Explain your thought process on coming up with that menu.
Well, you had contacted me and told me we're gonna feed some boys tonight. So
Yeah, buddy.
I was
Some
like,
men.
yeah. I'm down. Let me know. And then I realized that from the last time that we all got together, we had the what was that?
It's like tacos.
The
and fuck,
tacos. We had the tacos. We had the pheno hunt.
Yes.
16 different.
16.
Poi dog
Oh, wow.
iterations.
Hey, we have another one coming up too.
Number
so.
7, dude. I still dream about that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we were looking at number 11, right?
Yes.
Right, and that's the one that won out,
Nope,
right?
number
Was
6.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there was
Oh,
number
it was-
7
And it was
because the
I, right?
I was
Letter
6.
I.
yeah. And I looked at it. I looked at my personal notes, like maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I was like trying to remember it and reflect on taste, and I'd be like, you know what? After that one, number 7 was
That's
it?
your guy.
That was my guy because it was a lot more nuttier. It had a
Huh.
lot more nuttier and saltier.
No shit, huh?
But I was like thinking about it. You know what? But you know what? I'm happy with whatever you grow.
Well, I mean,
So-
I was just stoked that everybody took the time to like go through it completely. And it was funny, dude.
That was a lot of weed.
Dude, the next morning you should have seen the fucking the papers.
The roach
I
star.
no, yeah. So like the fucking papers and how everyone's writing, like the course of the fucking whole thing, like it
Was it
became-
nice and straight, and all of a sudden, like all over the
It was
place?
fucking thorough at the beginning and just fuck you at the end, basically. Like one guy just threw a line through the fucking thing. I was like, that doesn't do anything, man.
Can I just say I really like what the fuck you're doing with your
It's
ipaka,
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
your epaka? So, how difficult is it? I mean, it didn't really seem difficult, but like, does it throw you for a loop when there's like a vegan or somebody with dietary restrictions or something like that, or you got like tricks up the sleeve ready to go for people who may be lactose intolerant or?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of experience. It's a little bit of refinement. It's a little bit of like previous dishes and going back into the catalog or looking back at game footage that you used to do.
Now,
So-
I'll stop you right there. When you go back, do you go back to mimic or do you go back to alter on this next menu? So it's never the same thing twice.
It's that's one of the hardest things to do, especially for my brain, where it's a constant creative brain where it's like I want to change it, I want to make it better, I want to do something different, I want to change. What if I flip this ingredient?
Right.
And so it's it's like what I can repeat it, and I have done repeats of dishes because it's so popular and it's so
Yeah.
people love it so much that I'll be more than happy to do it again. But then there's always part of me like I'm bored, right? But when anybody has a dietary restriction, and we can get into that fact of infused, non-infused. When it's non-infused, you're still looking at it at a restaurant point of view,
Right.
where you can change it easier. But if it's infused, then you have to start creating two different menus entirely.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you have to keep it separate.
Right.
Even what you're cooking in, right?
Yeah, even what you're cooking. So with anybody,
Utensils and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
but if anybody, then that's one of the main questions that I always ask if someone wants a dinner. Is like the first thing you ask is not what they like. It's always what they dislike and if they have any food allergies, because it's easier to separate everything from dislikes and food allergies.
Right.
Because if I ask you what do you like and you just round off like I like spaghetti, I like spam, I'm like
That
that
doesn't
doesn't help
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Like then I make spam with cilantro.
Tell me what you don't like and what will fucking kill you.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so making a menu for anybody who has a dietary restriction,
Right.
it's it comes with experience. It comes with ideas and recipes, and then you also have to look at the aspect of budget too,
Yeah.
because it can take on a different life when you need to flip and change. So making it like just enough dishes to satisfy somebody with a food dietary restriction, then you also have to think about everybody else. But then so you work backwards. You look at the person who has a dietary restriction, and then be like, you know what, this will fill them up.
Yep.
And then how do I play it to the back end of proteins or whatever else that I can do where this person doesn't feel like they exclude it? Because
Right.
I could easily just throw out a salad and you'd be like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Old Topher would be like, "Fuck you! This is you you get carrots dipped in water."
Yeah.
Bitch.
You
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah. Here, and then, just throw it at your face. You know? Like that's it. But
I didn't hear thank you, chef.
yes, chef. Please, chef. No. So you just work backwards, and so tonight was, 7 dishes. That's including dessert.
Jesus.
And only, and then 4 of them, the majority of it, 50% of it was vegan based. And but the thing is, it's not.
Hell yeah.
It's not where it didn't deter anybody else from looking at it and be like,
No,
oh hey,
sir.
this is vegan. I'm like, you know what? To be honest too, like vegan doesn't have to be healthy.
Bruh, in my experiences, usually even like in the corporate world, corporate lunches and shit like that, all the fucking meat eaters want to eat all the fucking vegetarian or meat free shit first.
True.
And, you roll up there as the person
kinda
who
weird, yeah.
as the person who doesn't eat meat, and it's like, bro, you guys eat all the fucking vegetable shit, and like there's only the meat shit left, dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like for me personally, when I go and get a Korean lunch plate at Yummies or something else like that, you get the banchan, you get the choice of like 4 veggies, and then you get your protein and rice. To be honest, I don't even touch the protein. I eat the mac salad, I eat the bok choy, I eat the choy sam, and then the kimchi and the rice, and then the meat is a small supplement. Then I'll be like, oh wait, I better start eating this meat.
Right.
So, but I get so caught up in the side dishes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when you're doing a menu for someone that has that dietary restriction, you have to look at it where like, this is not just a side dish for them.
Yeah.
This is an actual.
This is gonna
Their
be their
meal.
meal.
Their meal.
Yeah.
So how do I make it filling, but also flavor profiles, salty enough, and also doesn't include everybody else? Because when you mention vegan to somebody, then somebody does like, oh, that's vegan food. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what?
That shit can be bomb, man.
Bitch. Yeah. Like,
Romesco with grilled cabbage.
No, that
Yeah.
okay. I wanna get into that
know?
right now. That
What?
romesco.
Romesco.
Oh my fucking.
What
goodness.
what is that? Romesco.
Explain to the people.
Italiano.
Yeah, it's an Italian sauce. It's
Okay.
one of those sauces you should always have in your back pocket
Oh.
because it's based upon like an emulsion. So you're blending oil and a vinegar together to make a sauce, but it's based upon tomatoes. So it's like tomato puree. Basic recipe is tomato puree, nuts, which is more typically almonds, oil, salt, and then like an acid, like could be lemon juice, it could be lime juice, it could be anywhere else, and it has a little bit of spice to it.
Vinegar.
You can use vinegar. You can rice wine vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar. You can use anything as long as it's vinegar and oil base and it can blend. And
Gotcha.
you're using tomato, which is your base for it,
Right.
and then a nut in there,
Ah.
but and a little bit of spice. This
Pesto. Basil.
one, you can throw basil, but typically there's no basil in there.
Okay.
Because it's all tomato based. So you can,
sick.
yeah. So you can change out. It's really one of those things where you can change it out for anything you really want, like just basic components, as long as tomato, oil, and acid is in there.
That was such a complex yet simple dish. Like the sauce, it's just like sauce and cabbage. When you look at it on a superficial level, from the outside, you're like, oh, that's just sauce and cabbage. But wait a minute, like, let's itemize everything. Let's separate it, cabbage and the sauce. The sauce, all of that shit, the nuts and all of the puree, the acid, and all of that goes into the sauce. But the fucking cabbage, now you got the right kind of cabbage.
What kind of cabbage was it?
It was Napa.
Shout out to Napa Valley,
Yeah,
Napa, California.
Yeah, Napa,
Word.
So the whole spray with oil and like seasoning it perfectly, then grilling it at the right temperature, not to overcook it, not to oversteam it, but just to be perfect, crunchy enough. That's all techniques that are totally overlooked when someone looks at a dish like that.
It's cabbage. So it's I think
It's cabbage.
It's cabbage.
You're fucking cabbage.
Yeah. It's
Fucking
cabbage.
You fucking
cabbage.
muff cabbage.
So it's cabbage is definitely underrated vegetable when you look at it. So everything from Portuguese bean soup, there's cabbage in it. You look at Chinese food where they use cabbage because cabbage has a natural MSG component to it, so it has acidic acid. So you can start looking at cooking and you like break that down into like the science and the chemical reactions, everything. Shout out to the boy over there who likes Food Wars.
And when people say like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like the taste of it," it's like, well, then fucking put shit on it and make it taste good.
Yeah.
Like, what
Or
the
change
fuck?
the flavor profile by we charred it, we grilled it, we steamed it, And so it got rid of the bitterness. It got added more char to it, added sweet, because anything, in a way, when you look at things, when anything that fire touches, it gives it what it needs.
Yeah.
Because we're all created with the intention of being warm.
We all grew up eating Kahlua pig and cabbage, corned beef and cabbage.
Right.
Fuck, right?
Even with the
Steam that
Chinese
shit.
soups and stuff, you
That's
got
the
the fucking
umami right
cabbage.
there, right?
What's the umami?
Umami,
Yeah,
bro.
that's the umami. Yep.
What's umami? Corned beef, cabbage.
Yep.
You
Kahlua
ever
pig
had
and
corned
cabbage.
beef on top of like ulu, is grilled ulu, and you get coconut milk and you put that over that, so it has that salty sweet and it has that firm texture.
How come you didn't cook tonight?
What? I know. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Turtle does.
Fucking
You-
campfire cooking.
You need to
cuz.
cook tonight.
It's a Tahitian thing, I believe. It's like a Polynesian thing.
It's a
That's the ulu,
Polynesian,
right?
Polynesian, Guamanian, Samoan too, because everybody has that touch.
So they also put the pork and beans over it. So like the canned pork and beans.
Lost me.
Boom.
You lost me.
Oh, see, so that's where
Who also put, and where does that come
wo-
from?
that
Well,
where
I
it
want to
loses
talk
you.
about that
That's
fucking
a leftover
dish.
from World War
Yeah.
II in their culture. Fucking
Fuck,
what?
You lost me at pork and beans.
Pork and
Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
See, but that's where it loses you when you eat it.
Yeah, you lost everybody listening.
Oh,
Fuck,
eat
I
it.
just heard fucking
Nah, sorry,
doors
that was
slam.
dick. That was dick. Go ahead,
Put it in
keep
your
going.
mouth. Just put it was just that situation where like that rural area in like Lower Polynesia.
Oh, we got it. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
it's-
use what you got, right?
Yeah, you
yeah,
use
from
what
World
you
War
have.
II. It was the can, It's
Just
I
like
know.
Spam.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck.
So how many times in your lifetime you ate something out of the can? It was pork and beans, and you're like, hey, motherfucker, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Shit.
You're right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the umami.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pork
talking
and
about
umami.
the ulu.
You lost the umami with the fucking pork and beans, and I was like, oh, bro, come on.
interesting
Let's-
fact,
let's
another
split that
culture
out.
that likes fucking
Let's just cut that
spam.
out.
The British. Well,
Shout
maybe they
out.
don't like
Potted
it,
meat.
but they grew up eating it because
Yeah.
leftovers from the war.
Yeah. Potted meat.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if that cabbage would have went in there fucking raw, that would have changed the whole fucking flavor of everything.
Yes.
So, by you grilling it, made it compatible. So,
But then steaming it after as well,
yeah.
covering it fucking
Right.
with the foil and shit.
Back to the base of the techniques that you've learned, incorporating it into that fucking dish right there that everyone loved. And it was a vegan dish, right?
It's a vegan dish.
Fucking A. There you go.
Yeah. Didn't turn anybody off because it was vegan.
No.
So cooking plant-based like that, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
No. In fact, you can use that sauce on just about anything. You could like cut cucumbers and dip it in there.
Fuck
know?
yeah,
You
dude.
could do you can do whatever you want.
Any kind of breads would do good
Yeah.
in that.
You could
Yeah.
drop a slipper in there.
Drop a fucking
Yeah. Drop a slipper in it. Put your phone in it too.
Fuck
Just
yeah.
start licking it.
It was like
Lick your-
it was the corn though that really just. Nah.
Oh shit!
The
we talked about
corn, the Colby.
now.
But
The
it
Colby corn.
goes back
Colby
to that
corn.
cultural thing, Like I feel like corn. Everybody's family, it's corn, steamed corn, cuckoo corn, sweet corn, sweet
Yeah.
corn,
Kahuku sweet
extra
corn.
corn.
No, that brought me back to like the Yummy's plate lunch where you have the kalbi and then the juice spills over to the side order corn.
Oh,
Yeah.
What? That's
Yeah.
exactly what
That's
I was
can of
thinking.
corn.
Yeah.
can of
You and
corn.
your canned foods, cuz.
Bruh.
We're talking cobs, boo. We're talking cobs.
On the cob, the ears of them. But fucking that. Okay,
Fucking-
so obviously Korean inspired Kalbi sauce.
Yes.
Fuck, is that a creation of your own? Like that was fucking amazing.
Not really of my own. It's
Mhm.
it's just one of those things where it's like putting things together that I like, I enjoy.
Yeah,
The inspiration, is partly from the Korean barbecue plate where
Right.
you order galbi and then you throw it in there, or
What Kale just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or even when you go to like Korean restaurants and have the corn over there on the side with the cheese and all that kind of stuff. And it's but it inspires to the fact is that it can be a vegan dish
Yeah.
where you create the kalbi marinade. And then you just let the corn soak in it. And then when you grill it, not only do you get that kalbi grilled flavor, but also corn is naturally sweet. And especially, to be honest, that corn is not local corn. Sorry.
But if it comes from Kahuku, it's even sweeter.
Yeah, it's even sweeter. But, technically, if you're buying corn, corn is never really in season. So, you're adding more sweetness to it by marinating it.
right.
But, you're adding that depth of flavor by grilling it and adding that char to it because the caramelization, the Maillard effect,
Yes.
and all that other stuff. So you're eating corn, but you're tasting kalbi at the same time.
Right.
But like again, no one can look at it and be like, oh, hey, this is a vegetarian vegan dish. Screw it.
Right.
But everybody enjoyed it.
It's like in your mind it plays that it's a piece of meat.
Yep.
Because of that, you're so conditioned to thinking.
Nope. It didn't do that to me. I totally knew I was eating corn.
Well, yes, but for someone that eats kalbi on the regular, like biting into it, immediately as soon as you taste that flavor,
It tricks you.
Yeah. You think you're like biting into a piece of meat, and you're like, holy shit, it's corn. It's crunchy. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Texturally, you start changing it. So.
And like these kind of things, like for me, I've never thought or even had the imagination to think of marinating corn on the cob in like a kalbi sauce. But now it opens the door to everything. What else can we marinate in kalbi sauce? You know what I mean? What the fuck?
You can marinate everything.
Everything.
Carrots.
Throw ulu in there?
Tofu.
Yeah.
I don't eat fish though either. But
Carrots, bro.
Yeah, throw
Fucking-
ulu,
asparagus.
asparagus, anything that has like a huge core to it. You can do it like breadfruit,
Yakitori style.
Yeah, you can put because you let it soak in there for a while, let it grill. Or even if you like cut it super thin and you marinate it and you just grill it to just get a hard grill on it. Perfect. Potatoes, you can start doing potatoes. And it's kind of similar to the potato dish. that we did.
Speaking of
kalbi mash, what?
Yeah.
Instead of gravy,
Yeah.
fucking kalbi sauce on top of like everything.
Mm-hmm.
On an IV drip, just go
Yeah.
right into my fucking veins.
Yeah.
Right into my
It's you can do a classic, like candied or glazed carrots.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say classic, like up through the butt.
Oh yeah.
The enema, kalbi enema.
Kalbi enema.
Wow. That's yeah.
So how do you feel about like when you got the marinade, right? And you have a little cup or something with that marinade in it. You hit it on the grill, and you keep on dunking and hit it. Is that something you're against? Is it something like a technique that is regularly practiced in culinary, or?
It's a technique that that is practice. So it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. So for instance, if you were to marinate the corn, it permeates throughout the entire corn.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about basting it.
Got you.
But if you were to put it onto the
Pork belly or something.
Yeah, but if for instance, put the corn straight onto the grill and then you're basting it, you're gonna get really more of the corn flavor because you're just using the sauce to start getting more of a caramelization on the outside.
Right.
It's not in there. It's just
It's
on
not
there.
in there. Yeah. So you're
Whoa.
not trying to. You're getting two different flavor profiles from doing the basic technique style. So.
Shout out Topher, man.
Right. Fucking speaking of potatoes, the next fucking thing is those fucking wasabi potatoes.
Yeah, it was kind of like a British dish that I.
A British dish.
Yeah, that I enjoy. It's it's just potatoes that are like mashed potatoes with horseradish. So wasabi is horseradish.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do those Brits use? They don't
Was
got
that like a
wasabi.
lemon? There was lemon in there, or
There's lemon. There was wasabi, and then what it was marinated in was maple syrup. Yeah, maple syrup, and then it was smoked maple syrup. So I smoked the syrup and I put it in. That's why it has that little.
How do you smoke syrup?
You just put it into a bag, put the syrup in there, and then
smoker?
and you smoker. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Everything absorbs, though. Everything reaches an equal state. So by putting a smoke into the bag with the syrup, it infuses the syrup.
And
with
then you
the
just
smoke.
add a little more smoke, or you just like a one-time pop.
Well, I don't know how you do it.
Could it be more or less? You can make it more smoky by just continuously adding more smoke.
The longer you smoke something, the longer it will typically out that flavor. So you can totally just. I have a apparatus that allows you to send smoke into a bag.
Nice word, apparatus, by the way. Apparatus, I like it.
Yeah, to put into a bag, and I can smoke, anything that I want. And then the thing is, you just let the smoke sit into the bag until it either dissipates on its own, or you just let it sit for as long as you want it to, and then you can keep adding smoke to the bag until you get to that desiredness. I knew that I didn't have enough space. I knew, exactly what had a grill and the space of it. So, it's just trying to, manipulate the space and the heat. I figured I wanted smoky potatoes, but I wasn't gonna throw and use up all that real estate on an actual grill.
Right.
So smoke the syrup before, and then just
then marinate it.
And then marinate it, yeah, and then just let it get warm on the grill.
When you marinate potatoes like that, do you poke holes in the potatoes or like little slits? And
no,
it'll
naturally
get through the skin.
It'll naturally start. Especially if it's like baby potatoes or new potatoes. So it'll naturally like break the skin.
Right.
and it'll start marinating into
Yeah,
itself.
that was fucking good too,
Yeah.
bro.
But
And I'm usually not like a fan of wasabi, just because I'm not a huge fan of spice. I'm kind of a pussy in general when it comes to that shit.
That's
But-
natural wasabi. That's real wasabi.
No, yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen it like
Not horseradish.
shaved off. What do you mean not?
Dude, the wasabi, correct me if I'm not, right?
But isn't
If
okay,
I'm wrong. A lot of the wasabi you get in tubes is horseradish, right?
yes,
so
just
it's not.
colored.
It's just colored green.
It's colored
These
green.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because wasabi is just Japanese horseradish.
It's a little sweeter than
Yeah.
But it's a different species of fucking.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
the old switcheroo.
How dare they fucking bait and switch?
Ah,
No wonder I never like
charging
wasabi.
you
I-
wasabi prices for
it's
that
not that I don't like
horseradish, son.
wasabi. It's like I don't like horseradish. These.
Mhm.
I love fucking horseradish.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, nah, not really too spicy. But this didn't have like an overpowering like spice. Like
Well-
when you overdo it and like you know when
Mhm.
you dip too much and like
Crispy,
Yeah.
fucking sweet. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. First time I've ever seen it like shaved like that instead of like the normal paste
normal
form.
paste, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we used the maple syrup in there, because I didn't want anything spicy tonight.
Mhm,
I wanted
mhm.
everything just to be super easy, because I don't know, everybody's like adversity to
Thresholds,
spice,
yeah.
Right.
to it. So I was like, you know what? Let's just keep it mild, keep it nice, natural wasabi like that
I'll do that.
from the root itself like that. You don't have to worry about it being too hot. you
Right.
know?
Right.
So you can actually eat it like on its own.
Now, does heat do something to wasabi?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
What it does is it gets rid of some of the moisture in the wasabi, and it also turns it bitter.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some citrus inside there, and it made that wasabi stand out when you bit into it, which was fucking pretty crazy.
It was
bro.
it's just lemon zest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
yeah. But it's a combination of sweet from the maple syrup, smoke. Potato is a vessel,
Yes.
so it absorbs whatever you want to, you give it to it.
Right.
And then you add like the wasabi, so for the
Right.
flavor background, and then you add lemon zest or an acid to
Mm.
it to pop,
And
and
al-
salt.
also, we had the fucking that F1 dry aged Wagyu, which was out of this world from Meatlux, right?
Yes.
Shout out
Shout out
Meatlux,
Meatlux.
Australian, right?
Australian
Australia.
Wagyu.
Yeah.
F1 because
It's-
Sorry you're going through what you're going through, Australia. I'll back off now. Go ahead. Continue.
yeah, we just want their meat right now. So explain the F1.
Um,
We're getting comments for that, I guarantee.
you guys get comments? Not sure.
Yeah, for real.
Only fucking.
You love it, dare you.
Shout out to fucking 94 Grown.
Yeah.
True fan right there.
Yeah. So the F1s are essentially Wagyu that's not Japanese.
Got you.
So the joke is that if you've watched if you're a fan of Jurassic Park, and Newman has the shaving can
Yes.
of the T-Rex DNA
and the Barbasol.
on the Barbasol, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing where they took the DNA of a Japanese Wagyu cow, because you can't export cows because it's it's a Wagyu.
Clever girl.
Yeah. So so they smuggled it, bred it somewhere else, or they stole the calf or whatever, and then they bred it into Australia, or they bred it, like making a genetic strain, whatnot, whatever you want.
Right.
So it's essentially that, where they cross strain it, and it comes that way to even American Wagyu too.
They mass medicaled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They went like cookies extra, grape ape
Give me a
X,
Bernard it?
yeah, they Bernard
Give
it,
me a
and
B.
yeah. But shout out to Bernard, because you know what you're doing, bro. You really do.
Yeah, business
Fucking
man.
marketing genius.
I know, it's fucking amazing. But
I think we've talked about him on every episode so far, actually.
Nah, I don't think so.
Good, fucking like at least 3 out of 4. Or what is this, number 6? 4 out of 6.
yeah.
Can't hate the game.
Can't hit the
Not
game,
on it.
but you know what? You also can look at it and learn from it, and that's something that I think people should even look at and aspire to, because it's not only his story from how he got to where he is, despite haters out there. You can't hate when you're looking outside.
Right. Right.
So
You gotta respect where he's come.
absolutely.
You gotta respect all that he's about and how he markets himself.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude's a genius.
everybody that has
And a
made
team.
it's a learning opportunity.
It is 100%.
So watch them. Don't hate. Be critical on where you think that their flaws is and try to do differently.
Yep.
And be your own self. Don't coattail and come up with your own shit and fucking make your own stamp. And that's how people like Burner or whoever's popular, you know what I mean, make their way, bro.
Yeah, grassrooted from the very beginning,
Yeah.
and quality over quantity, because you grow your base based upon not only creating a quality product, but also creating a product that people love and will come back to
Yep.
you constantly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not about looks.
And then you made that chicken and fucking the misoyaki chicken, and I was fucking saying that my dad would probably fucking love it because he likes misoyaki. Misoyaki, am I saying it right?
Misoyaki butterfish?
Yeah, butterfish.
Yeah. Who doesn't like
loves-
misoyaki?
Oh my gosh.
It's
I like
just
miso
a
fucking ramen, but
Oh yeah, I mean misoyaki, it's actually kind of like not technically, it's like New Japan-ish type of thing where it's
Oh,
like
okay.
Neo Japan.
yeah, like Akira, it's about to explode. I didn't want you to spit out because I knew you were gonna get it.
Oh my god. Oh,
Grenada!
revolution now.
Yeah, it's a mixture of miso, mirin, and sake. So what we did was we changed out the sake. We used some French champagne instead because it's a little more drier. And I
Gotcha.
wanted a little
Champagne.
more champagne. But we wanted a little more drier, and I wanted a little more flavor because of the chicken is I wanted it to have a different profile to
Yep.
it. And chicken, you can misoyaki anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like that it's a verb.
Yeah.
You should
Misoyaki the fuck out of that.
Yeah. Misoyaki. No, yeah, you can make it anything. And again, technically misoyaki is it can be vegan. So we could have just not used chicken at all, and I could have just thrown it onto fucking cucumbers.
Because miso is just
Mushrooms.
soy based, right?
Yeah. Well, miso can be miso is traditionally soy based, but you can use anything. You can use anything from you can use like chickpeas.
Yes.
And then you can use any type of bean that will ferment.
So it's like
obviously,
you got to ferment the bean
Yeah.
to make miso?
Can you still call it miso if you're fermenting chickpeas and then doing it? Is that still, will it have the same flavor as a miso paste?
No, it will have a different flavor
Is it
profile.
hummus at that point?
It's old hummus.
Rotten.
Rotten. No, it will have a different flavor profile. It won't be as nutty because there's a difference between red miso paste, white miso paste, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So technically, the technique is miso, and if you look at it as a whole.
Miso umami.
My dad used to buy the miso paste and put it in like the top ramen and shit and just
Oh, yeah.
dope up his fucking
Oh,
burger.
bro. That's
I think
Spam,
what?
eggs, all the fucking
Flavor.
right here,
Oh,
dope
yeah.
them up, dude.
I think I think in this now like age of like TikTok and whatnot, and everybody's saying, hey, hey, this is how I'm going to soup up and
I don't
modify
think my dad's on TikTok.
modify instant ramen. I mean, like, you know what? I thought all Asian kids, put
That shit already.
did that
yeah.
shit already. Where they, we had like, oh shit, there's chili oil in there. There's garlic. Fucking.
So I discovered
Larson's.
Tapatio, bro. I was
Yeah.
like,
Your
oh.
dad didn't. You didn't grow up putting egg in your
Yeah,
shit.
you didn't go for the
fried
egg.
salmon.
Yeah, you didn't do
Well,
that.
Maybe not fried salmon. That might be a exclusive to Hawaii thing.
Yeah. So it's like, you didn't do that. I grew up with throwing Spam in mine, and
I crack an egg in the morning inside my cup of noodle and microwave it.
yeah.
Oh, just right in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't, you didn't add extra soy sauce, or, you didn't throw, some people throw mayonnaise in there, or you throw like, the ranch packet in there,
There you go.
that kind of stuff. And he's like, you guys didn't, like, I'm like, wow, I'm amazed at some things that some people find fascinating. I
The
was like,
cast iron stomach, dog.
yeah, it's, it's like, this is what, culturally I grew up,
Right.
with, and this is nothing new to me.
Right.
So you kind of look outside and you're like, wow, this entire, like, this social media generation of like that, we're like, wow, you guys never did anything like that. Like, you guys never threw an egg into your instant ramen. What's wrong with you?
Come on,
I thought
guys. Live it up.
Yeah, I thought everybody did that. I was like, didn't you guys know that?
At least
Yeah.
once in
this
your
comes
life.
down to
Yeah.
my last question of the night.
Oh, shit.
Why are you leaving?
If you had to cook your final ramen, what 3 ingredients would you use?
Ooh, shit.
3 ingredients.
3.
Just 3.
Tress.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. I would probably make a traditional like tonkatsu ramen as a base. So I want fatty. I want that gelatinous taste out of it. But the ingredients I'd probably throw into it,
Got 3.
I'd probably throw in like a ramen egg, where it's kind of has that jammy yolk on the inside. Give me like 3 of those. I'm done.
Yes.
But
that's the only ingredient.
yeah, that's the only ingredient I need.
3 eggs.
But give me a chasu, the Japanese chasu. Slice it super thin and throw it in there, and then the third one, I don't know. I mean, if I'm trying to balance all that fattiness out, but if it's the last ramen I'll ever have, shit, dude, just give me some caviar.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Just give me a whole tin of that and just throw it in there.
I would just do mine's like
Really?
oxtail style.
Mm.
I would go like cilantro, ginger. You know
I
what
was
I
thinking
mean?
green onion.
I mean, green onion's superficial at that point, man. I want something that's
Yeah.
gonna change everything.
It's your last 3. You're gonna throw in green onion.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Get the fuck out of here. Green.
I feel like that's just like...
It's like
that's it.
salt. I was like, dude.
I give up.
I'd never give.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, if you wanted to include like small ingredients like that, then you'd be like, you know what, man? I guess that's salted pepper and white pepper or whatever.
Boom.
Right.
Oh, with the parsley, right? Like juk.
Yeah.
My sister sent us this fucking mushroom mix
Mushrooms
thing
would be
from
another
fucking
Third one.
what is that mainland fucking company? Trader Joe's. It's like mushroom umami. I think it does actually say umami on the label. But
Mushroom seasoning.
yeah, it's fucking bomb ass. That would be one I would add. But it has a mixture of all kinds of other shit. So does that count as 1 or is that 3?
It counts as 1, but I will tell you this: that Trader Joe's sells that for $7.26 on Amazon. But as a true Asian, you can find that particular mushroom blend, which actually, that rice ball that we haven't talked about, that seasoning, the one that I use,
It's a common.
you can buy that one at Chinatown for a whole bag for $10.
And it's the exact same fucking mix as
It's
that
pretty
shit.
much the same thing. Yeah.
So is Trader Joe's, is that cultural appropriation?
You know what, they do good. They do.
I don't care either way.
I think Trader Joe's provides a market for those who are looking for something different, but also at a price that it's affordable.
Right.
It is a little more overhyped than it should be, but it's one of those stores that have such a like a cultural following, and people love whatever Trader Joe's put out. But they started small, and that's
Right.
one of the things, and that's one of the things that they can't replicate anywhere else because of their pricing, because of their shipping. That's why Hawaii will never have a Trader Joe,
Right.
because they can't afford
Right.
it. They can't, they can't give you the popcorn,
Cookie butter.
cookie butter for $3.99. In Hawaii, it would be $7.99.
Right.
Got you.
Yeah,
And then people will be mad like, fuck, Trader Joe's so fucking expensive.
yeah. Or they give you that whole, it's cheaper on the mainland. I'm like, you know what? You're in Hawaii. Sorry.
Paradise
Everything's
tax.
more
Yeah.
fucking
Paradise
expensive.
tax, bitch.
Yeah. Welcome to Hawaii. Where milk is $10.
So-
Hell yeah.
So speaking of those rice balls,
Rice balls.
I dug those rice balls.
another delicious one. Vegan as well?
Vegan as well.
I hope so. I ate it.
Yeah, vegan as well. It is just truffle, that mushroom seasoning that you find in Chinatown.
Mhm.
Instead of just cooking regular rice, I just threw that seasoning into the rice pot,
Mhm.
then let it cook and let it permeate through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it super
Simple.
easy. Seasons the rice instead of doing it like sushi style, where you're seasoning it after it comes out.
Right.
But yeah, it's just took that, made a onigiri, and
Which
grilled
is
it.
the triangle sushi formation.
Musubi
yeah.
style, and then you just put truffle kabayaki on it, and I grilled it.
Grilled it. That's the first time I ever had like
Grilled
grilled
Rice.
rice. Yeah, rice musubi.
Ain't mad at it.
Thank you for saving that joint, rolling down.
The
Good job.
The papers got wet. I think that's what it was. The gum was gone.
Nah, I couldn't even fucking like get it to roll
I'm trying to
nicely.
save you, man.
Thanks. Nah, it was my fault. I know.
fucked
I
up with that too.
I know my limitations and where I fall short. But I did want to mention that we fucking have a couple people who forgot that you put that sour diesel wax crumble into that fatty fucking joint. So not only was it fatty fat, it also had all that sour diesel in it. And homeboys over here forgot.
Definitely hit me after you told me.
I was like, oh shit, this had all that shit in there. Like, what?
Same Das Holmes.
Hey, I never knew you like to get wet, Holmes.
Yeah.
Surprise. Is there any surprises in this one?
No.
Oh, no surprises. This one will bring you back down.
Or just keep you there.
I don't
So
know
is there-
about Anu. He's gone already.
He just walked out of the whole
He
fucking
went into
production.
space. He's actually in space.
I'm going to lie down, guys.
He went into his car.
Make sure he never hit pause before he leave out. Like, oh, I better. He think he listening to this and I better hit pause before I miss anything.
So funny. Turtle doesn't fly away, bro.
Did you just pass this to me? Yeah.
So, infusion. What led you to infusion?
Well, I mean, working in a kitchen, it's drugs are apparent.
Yes.
So where everybody who's anybody who's worked in a kitchen and learned how to make cannabis butter, you as a cook you're like, you know what, I want to just make, I'm gonna make fucking brownies and shit.
Right.
And after a while, you're kind of like, you know what, I've been making brownies for like 10 years. How do I make it better?
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
Like, what did I? Why am I eating the same like shitty tasting? What am I doing wrong? So when you start diving into it and you look at infusions, you're like, well, what am I doing wrong in like creating the butter? How can I take away some of that chlorophyll and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, not so green.
You're not so green.
Personally, I like when you can taste weed in it. I like when I burp later, a few hours, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot.
Dank.
Weed brownie or whatever, weed whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who like that,
Mhm.
but
I'm one of them.
Yeah, some people like
Guilty.
that green flavor, and you know what? Over the years, even making some of the treats that we, I do make, or even some of the infusion things, some people want to know that it's in there, and because I've got to the point where it's all strain pairing, where it blends into it, where
Right.
it's like you don't taste cannabis, it's part of the dish.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, if you burp later on, yeah, you'll taste
You'll
it.
ta- Right.
But the fact is, like, if I'm using a concentrate, like a sour diesel concentrate, you're gonna pair it with something gassy, like barbecue.
Right.
I'm gonna have barbecue sauce, and then it's gonna pair out with it, and you're not gonna be able to taste that super gassiness because you already got all that flavor from some good old fashioned KC barbecue sauce, and you're not gonna really get that cannabis green flavor. But the thing is also, it's if it's concentrate and you're pulling it off from like live resin or something like that.
Totally.
Right, and that shit really changed the game, right? Because before you had to figure, like, for a pound of butter, you needed this much of, flour, blah, 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 blah. But now it's like, for a pound of butter, you need, like, a gram of this. Otherwise, whatever.
further.
So now it's
Yep.
like, you can really up the dosages.
Yeah.
Exponentially now.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah.
Where you start looking at it, where nowadays where testing is now the more available, whether it be from the dispensaries or from your local grower, because nowadays the local growers are now more like looking into it and seeing, they're using their the labs and the testing to see where they're at, because that's important to them, where like, hey, something's wrong with my trichome production, something's wrong with I can take a look at how do I get more limonene in my plant. Am I going to have to add more lime salt, or am I going to have to add more, clamshells or whatever it is to add to the soil, or what soil am I using? How what tea am I going to be using to change the profile of this? So it's it changes the flavor and the terpene profiles of like how you grow it.
Mhm.
So everyone, like even growers, are using the labs now to get either potency test or a full spectrum like terpene test.
And I think for like especially extractions and edibles, a a terpene test is just as important as a potency test
Yes.
because you're strain pairing, correct? So,
Yeah.
having-
It's important to me.
right,
Yeah.
and especially like strain pairing with terpenes, you're dealing with viscosity and different burn points, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of know your terpenes and know their I guess what you got flash points. Is
Yeah.
that what you call it?
Yeah.
Flash points.
Mm-hmm.
So by knowing that shit, you can kind of limonene burns off at 120. So you know that you can cook certain dishes based off of a dominance in limonene because you're not fucking up limonene. You're cooking within that parameters.
Yep. Or you if you want to put more limonene into it, you look at a product that or a natural terpene profile like such as grapefruit, and you'll be like, you know what, I'm going to add it in after the dish.
Yes.
Because I can make that flavor pop within the cannabis.
Yep.
Or you just start looking at strain pairing, and you look at terpene profiles, and you start doing extractions at levels of below 120. But you want a full extraction for potency, you go up to 160. So you start and then you blend.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you blend and you average out, and you start doing all the math, and you start doing all that scientific stuff that people are like, oh wow, that's something. I'm like, it's just math,
Right.
what it comes down to. But you're looking at how do I get more like myrcene or beta carotene and all that kind of stuff into a dish, and you can take it that far. You can take it even further, but a lot of times, if you just take the full spectrum of a plant and you taste it through combustion or you taste it through anything else, then it's going to be like, okay, I know the general idea of it. And because you start getting technical with it, and you kind of get lost in it a little bit after a while. And
strain specificness would be what you would be shooting for, right?
yeah, exactly.
Got you.
And when you're serving like a course to meal that's infused, you're doing pretty much micro doses per serving, right? Or like the total dosage for the whole meal would be like a nice dose, but you're not.
Oh, okay.
Or or is that something the fucking whoever is requesting can decide what they want?
If
level?
someone requests a microdose, I guess.
That's what you assume through the dinner.
I
So
just-
there are theories of how to serve a coursed out infused dinner. Like do I hit you all at once during the first course? So by the time you get to course 3, you're really feeling it. So that by the time you ended the meal at dessert, you're now like, okay, I feel good. I can drive home. Because the idea is that I don't want anybody staying at my house.
Right,
I don't
right,
want anybody
yeah.
staying at the restaurant or the event venue. It's the idea of to get them home safely.
Yeah, but doesn't like most edibles take like at least like an hour 20?
Well, yeah, that's what's a multi-course meal.
140.
He's drawing it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Well, it's also it also starts leading to extractions, and also you start looking at some of the techniques of how to ingest it faster.
So different extraction and infusion methods can
And eating.
Absorption.
Yeah.
affect the way it hits you. So like it might hit you quicker than
Yeah.
traditional.
Yeah. For instance, if I
Brownies.
wanted to get you going real fast, I'm not just gonna give you a higher dose, but I'm gonna give you something that needs to stay within your mouth. That gives you something that you have to put in your
Why are
mouth,
you
and
looking
then
at
you
me
have
like
to.
that? Fuck off.
Did you wink?
Oh,
No.
just shot me a weird look.
You know what he means.
Made me uncomfortable.
I'm gonna give you something that you have to chew on.
Right.
That needs to be broken down longer.
like a beef jerky.
Yeah. If I gave you infused beef jerky as your first meal,
You would
or
eat
your
that, couldn't I?
first.
Yeah,
Yes.
you would.
Yeah, if I gave it to you as your first thing, and because now it's a sublingual type of style where it's now going to hit you in 15 to 10 minutes
Yeah.
because the sublingual wise it goes under your tongue instead of you just like shoveling it in your mouth,
Getting digested.
getting it
Yeah.
digested.
And then
But-
it's got to wait to be processed and
Yeah.
metabolized.
So
and all
now that
shit.
you're in sublingual,
Is that more like nanoparticle when you're trying to get absorption under your tongue?
Yeah.
Got you.
So either that you're thinking about like, oh, how do I get it faster in your system through nanoparticles or anything else in that sense? Like, do I blast you out with like just straight distillate just so I can get you high and then bring you down with terpenes throughout the rest of the meal, or do I how do I get you going by giving you a high dose, a full spectrum dose, and then you just ride it out throughout the rest of the meal. And it also comes down to meal planning. So if I give you the highest dose possible, at the first course, I don't have to worry about the rest of the meal.
Right.
As long as it pairs with whatever it is, I can start start looking at CBD, CBDA, CBN, and you start stream pairing it off that way. So I level you off by the time you get to dessert.
I was gonna say because I've heard that like a CBD, if you're like you go too far on edibles or even smoking too much, like CBD can help kind of bring you back to base level.
It can,
Mm-hmm.
it can, but still, what people need to look at, and there's still a lot of research to be done on cannabis and cannabinoids like that. But CBD is, no matter what anybody says, it's still psychoactive. It is still a psychoactive thing because it's still interacting with your cannabinoid system, and it's still attaching itself to those those connectors.
And those receptors, yeah.
And so if it's inundated with THC, CBD will attach to it, but not necessarily bring you down. It kind of starts leveling out, but doesn't necessarily like, hey, stop being high. It just starts working with it.
Yeah, or it can like alleviate a little bit of that paranoia and anxiety.
Yes, the panic attack is that what I noticed that
flying
it
going
takes
around.
off.
Yeah, it does that in conjunction with like anything like terpene based, because you'll start looking at entourage the entourage effect, and you start looking at it that way, and it starts you build, and it's building blocks from there.
Right.
So,
And some terpenes allow certain cannabinoids to be absorbed more efficiently than others.
Yeah.
So
I
depends.
just noticed our rolling trade. It's hard to interrupt again.
yeah. No,
That's
it's
what I
like yeah, it's like myrcene where it's like a pepper based, where they tell you that it's not just when they tell you if you smoke too much, you smell like pepper or whatnot. It's partly of it, it's true. Like it does bring you down a bit because it's myrcene and it's a terpene.
Neil Young was talking about that he used to snort pepper when he
snort.
got too fucking high.
Yep.
And what about eating mango prior to smoking or while smoking or even while on an edible? I've heard shit about that.
Well,
That's terpenes again, right?
it's terpenes again, but it works in a very different way because mango. A lot of people will get it wrong. Well, they'll say that mango they'll say that it gets you even higher. It doesn't. No. It contributes because there's no way. Yeah, there's no way that you can eat a mango and have more THC in it.
Right.
So what it does is it contributes to the entourage effect of like it's overloading the sensory for it.
When I heard that, I was like, well, I'm going to go out and after I smoke, I'm going to go buy those naked fucking mango
Well, you think about it, too. It's more of like not a placebo effect, but like a serotonin kind of thing where it's a pleasure thing. You're eating something that tastes fucking good.
Yeah.
Right. Or
So
drinking it in a smoothie.
Yeah.
With tons of sugar.
Yeah.
Shout out to Naked.
Yeah.
Shout out to naked juices and your formaldehyde shit. Don't worry. I know that class action lawsuit.
Oh, bro.
You never heard about that shit?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Allegedly.
Here comes the comments.
Anyways, yeah. fucking.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, entourage effect. No, totally. I just heard that about like that. I've heard that thing about like it makes you higher.
No,
But yeah, it's a good point. It doesn't make more THC in you.
Yeah, it doesn't create more THC. It's a mango.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we were got more higher eating mangoes while we were growing up, climbing the tree,
mango.
Pearl City would be the place to be, man.
Right?
There's like a mango tree in every fucking block.
Right? Yeah, we'd be all hiding in the trees trying to steal like our neighbors' mangoes, running down the street like fuck.
Yeah, it's like everyone steals my mangoes from my tree.
Because it gives me THC. It doesn't. It doesn't. But I mean, edibles itself, it's different too. I mean, there's some studies that will look at it, and edibles will be like, does it? When you're digesting it, is it the same thing? Through inhalation versus combustion and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it pass through like into your bloodstream, and then your liver has to process it?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So actually digest it, and then your liver's got to process it before it hits your bloodstream. So there's a big delay. But the amount of THC that's being digested at one time, that's why I think it feels a little bit different, or a little bit more potent, if you will. But because the lack of terpenes being absorbed into our lungs and our brain having to register that as a taste factor, I think that is the I mean, personally speaking, that would be like the key factor for me, the difference factor between eating my fucking weed and smoking it.
Yeah, and that's why there are some infused dinners where it's a non-infused meal, but all the natural terpenes from like a mango or black pepper or chicken or something like that, steak au poivre or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they give you like a pen to smoke along with your meal, to add to the sensory position of an infused dinner.
Right.
So it also gives you the option too.
Right.
So that's always an option of how to do an infused menu.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A little token between.
All right, I was gonna say let's get back to our menu because we still didn't talk about the shrimp or the bread.
Oh yeah. Go for it.
So, what was the go for it, man?
It was like
So
yuzu kosho shrimp with grilled
the
citrus.
mushrooms too, bro. I had fucking mushrooms and the shrimp and
Yeah.
fucking.
Well, we're still on the
bread.
shrimp right now. The
Okay,
shrimp is delicious.
I'm just getting it.
And the shrimp,
The list out there so we don't.
9
forget.
times out of 10, people fucking overcook the shrimp, where the shell is kind of stuck to the meat, and the meat's almost got that cartilage texture to it. This was different. It was still soft, yet cooked all the way through, almost like as if you're like a flash steam. You know, like the shell came off real easy. It was fucking dope. You got the real yuzu kosho, salty, citrusy, a little spicy in that bad boy, but you still can taste the fishiness of the sea of the shrimp.
The aquarium.
Thank you.
taste.
Yeah. Yuzu kosho from preserved yuzu. That's what it is. And they mix it with green peppers, and then they ferment it. So you get yuzu kosho, which is like a yuzu spicy paste. There was also a little bit of sambal in there. So
What's that?
Sambal is fermented red peppers. So it's like the precursor to sriracha.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's
Was the shrimp spicy?
No,
No.
not at all.
Nothing was spicy here.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing was spicy because the garlic itself had so much sugar in it. So I caramelized the garlic before I threw it in with the butter, so the sugar released.
Toned
into
it down.
Yeah. And then butter, and then the shrimp was actually sous vide for 30 minutes at what was it? 70 degrees Celsius. So
200 something.
180.
Well, I was way off.
Yeah, 180. I forgot the formula, but it's just after a while
It's like
you start
32
working.
or something.
Yeah, you start looking at it. You start looking at Celsius more as as something that's a lot more precise. So that's looking at sous vide. That's how you get technical with it. But it was sous vide for about half an hour, cooled down, and then brought it here, and then you're cooking it only just enough to cook it through, and then so when you throw it on the fire, if you throw it onto some high heat like the yakitori grill, with the bichan type of charcoal, or any hardwood that burns super hot, it's gonna get hot. It's gonna sear quickly, and shrimp, it can go from good to bad in like seconds.
It's a real fine line between overcooked and
Wood. What wood would you recommend for a yakitori grill?
Not a wood. You'll be using like the bichan, the Japanese charcoal.
Japanese charcoal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It burns super hot.
That's what you're looking for in a yakitori grill?
Oh, you want super.
Heat?
You want ripping.
Atsui.
Yeah, you want ripping, like burn your face off. Like how they say when you grill something, you put your hand over it for like 5 seconds or 3 seconds, then it's good to go or something like that. If you do that to your yakitori grill, you won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
You can feel the heat from your radiating on your face.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just melting your skin.
You gotta
off.
get your fan and just.
Yeah, with your salt from Japan, your Hokkaido salt, and just drizzle on, and then hit the spray every so often to give it a little more juice to it, right?
I was watching the homie, shout out yakitori guy, fucking do what else, just redunk, boom, put it on top, rotate it,
Basting, yeah,
unreal,
yeah,
unreal.
yeah, basting. So it's that's what it comes down to. It's dunk, grill, and it seals it on. It caramelizes it on, and you dunk it again. So it's creating layers of flavor to it,
like a candied apple,
Yeah.
but it's a sous vide or a marinated candy apple. So like say the corn for a good example.
Yeah.
You marinated it so like the flavor went into the corn. So when you keep on dunking it, it's like the flavor's in. Plus you got that layers of fucking goodness on the way out.
Yeah. So the shrimp is was just a simple,
Yes.
2 technique type of style.
That was dope, dude.
Yep. And the fucking
Mushrooms.
yep.
That shit was gnarly.
What kind of mushrooms were those? I've
Just-
only started liking. Sorry, I only started fucking liking mushrooms as an adult. I hated mushrooms as a kid.
It's the meat substitute.
It was just button mushrooms, so white mushrooms.
Nice.
I mean, it was simple, super simple. Like Boulevard Simon was the inspiration for it.
Oh no shit.
You know, before they split and became like Tanaka Simon, and Boulevard actually shut down after that. But in fact, they're no longer around. But they had a mushroom tempura stick on there, and so they take marinated mushrooms and then they put into like tempura and then
Batter.
they batter it in and they fry it, and then so when you bite into it, it's this juicy hot mess.
Right. Yes.
And I wanted to. I don't have a. I knew I was gonna have a fryer. I thought about it, but I was like, no, that's just
Yeah.
having an oil and letting it cool and then transferring and then getting rid of it, and
Yeah.
for caterings is a little more time consuming.
The logistics of it
Yeah,
all.
the
is-
logistics start playing on it, and so I just marinated in just some soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, some butter, and also a little bit of yuzu.
Simple and delicious. And then that bread. So what was up with that bread?
Oh, that bread was just grilled bread.
Everything was based around the grill.
Yep. What?
No. So they're clowning because I went all the way around when I could just turn around. See, like I didn't want to face my back to the camera, right?
Yeah.
So I walked around and I went this way. Then I came
To
back
what?
over here
Yeah.
to grab some water, right?
Yeah.
So when I came, I just fucking walked right through it. I'm like, I just did a full fucking circle. I could have just bugged out right here and came right back. So yeah, we smoked fucking. That was like a 2 gram joint and then a
I
fucking
think.
a gram of that concentrate, and then I'm sorry guys,
No, it's good fun.
I'm just working the floor.
It's a fucking great podcast.
Yeah, it's going good. We have a lot to touch on.
Fuck, did we miss any other dishes? The fucking dessert.
Wait, are we on to the dessert yet?
Or are we still? That's it, right?
Yeah,
Did we?
I think so.
Yeah, that was everything.
So like this shit's been
Anything else
done-
you want to talk? Like any of the dishes you want to like highlight that you fucking? For me, it was fucking the corn. I mean, everybody seemed to fucking love everything, but
Everything
for
was
me,
a fucking hit. I mean, for sure, everything was a hit
corn
from the
was
start.
killer.
The corn. I mean, that's a good. You can take that everywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
you can take that anywhere, and basic recipe for anybody who wants it and listening. Buy kalbi mix or marinade that's already from the store. Buy your corn. I sous vide it just so it's logistically easier to cook on the grill because it cooks faster. You can blanch your corn and then put it into the marinade, let it sit overnight, and then take it to a grill or then cook it however you want. For those who have air fryers. Make a corn rib. So take your corn, cut it into 4 pieces, laterally, let it soak in the marinade, and then throw it into your air fryer. Delicious.
Jeez.
Yeah. But
Alright.
yeah. So anybody take that recipe and run with it. So. Yeah.
All right, so the fucking dessert, yo.
Man.
I love donuts. I
So-
never met a donut I never had.
I love donuts too, man. But see, that shit was over the top. Go over the whole steps from when you started with the whole soak all the way up into the peaches.
The dish is inspired by a thing called the rum baba, which is a yeast cake that's dunked into hot syrup. And that's exactly what we did tonight. But instead of using a yeasty like cake, I used a old-fashioned donut.
That's what's up.
My favorite.
So the hot liquid that it's dunked in is rum, water, sugar, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of salt, and then you just bring that to keep it warm, and then you just dunk the donut in it or the cake in it, and then I flashed it onto the grill real quick so you could caramelize a little more of the sugar from the rum. It was the peaches were compressed peaches with elderflower, cordell, which is elderflower. It's a very sweet cordell, which is an alcohol. So peaches that were marinated in alcohol, and then grilled too. So grilled peaches, grilled donut soaked in rum, and then whipped cream.
Fuck, I've never seen anyone grill a donut before.
First time for everything.
I know. There's so much first time for everything at this dinner. Like the corn, the fucking... the fucking cabbage looked like kimchi, but it wasn't kimchi.
Bruh,
You know what I mean?
for real. You could fuck somebody up with that. Like, kimchi.
Yeah, like, I thought, like, nope.
Yeah,
sorry, man.
your mind would expect a fermented salty stuff, and you'd get that Italian fucking pesto, nutty, wham, and just totally fucking throw you for a spin.
I have a personal question, not really, but what was, like, the first dish, if you can remember, that you, like, made on your own, not from somebody else's recipe, not something somebody taught you, like, you made all the choices and decisions, like, I'm gonna throw this fucking thing and this fucking thing and fucking. Which camera do I look at?
Oh no, it's I remember well, the first like real like dish or thing that I really wanted to make that I didn't have a recipe at the time, and I wanted to make shortbread cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at the ingredients and it just said butter, flour, sugar, salt, and I just put it all together and it came out horrible. To this day, I can make a shortbread, but it's one of the very first things that that came to my mind growing up was like, I want to make this cookie because mom told me that it's expensive to buy shortbread, and then, we all look at Big Island shortbread, and I'm like, why is this thing so expensive? Why does anybody spend any money when you can make it at home?
Right.
So I was like, I can
Try to make it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy.
No.
That's why it's so expensive.
On that note, what is the one thing that you can't cook? Like, you're like, fuck, you tried, and it's like, I can't get it, dude. Like, oh my God, I can't get this.
Blood sausage. No.
Oh, you son of a bitch, you didn't go there.
No.
Totally just pushed the raff out right there.
Podcast done.
No. Let's see. It's more of a family recipe that I can't do. I can't replicate because it's my grandmother's Portuguese bean soup.
Oh shit! All right.
I can make my own. I can make it pretty good.
Mhm.
I can't replicate my grandmother's flavors.
Right.
I can't replicate my mom's flavors for it either.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I have my own,
Mhm.
and it is my own, and that's all it's ever going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that kind of defeat, like, I'll never be able to taste grandma's.
Right.
And I can. It brings back a memory where the last time I had it, was at, we all of us were at a beach house, and then my grandma. We asked my grandma, like, show us how to make it, and she's, typical grandma style. We're like, no, just throw this. How much?
Handful of this.
Handful of.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Measure
Wait. And then all this other stuff. Can't. I remember how she did it.
Can't do it.
Can't get the same flavor for a while.
Yep.
And it's always amazing, like, how grandma and mom can make the same thing over and over again without measuring.
Yep.
And you can do that as a cook eventually, and you have your own flavor, but it will never taste that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't replicate that flavor, and I
Right.
still, like, to this day, I'm like, oh, that was a good Portuguese bean soup grandma made that night. And yeah,
That's it.
that's it. That's that's the one thing that I'll think about him.
The closest you can come to is nostalgia for that dish.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make it how you make it. That when you eat it, you would it would remind you of what grandma's one would taste like, but not exactly what grandma's one tastes like.
So it never will be.
Well, that's what I'm after for the blood sausage.
Yeah,
The same
it's
exact
the,
thing.
it's it's whatever, it's whatever was crafted by her own hands that
Yep.
her own seasoning from her hands that I can't ever.
It's her
replicate.
paintbrush, dude. You ain't got it.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll never have it.
Right.
I have a question from Instagram that I forgot to ask until just right now, but it was.
What is the one thing that you don't like?
Yeah, I was like, what was the? Yeah, the one you don't like making. What is a dish like you least like making the most?
The least.
What do you hate making?
Anything with cilantro in it.
Anything with cilantro. Oh.
Yeah, fresh cilantro.
Cool, because I don't like cilantro either.
I hate beets and
You hate
celery.
beets. I hate ginger.
I'm gonna have to change your guys' mind on that later.
Well, no, I can't have celery, dude. I'll fucking vomit. I
I had
swear
a
to
bad
God, I
experience
hate
with ginger.
celery.
Too.
Okay.
At a young age,
Mhm.
like traumatizing.
Oh
kind.
no, I have the same.
Like
way
I was
with,
attacked by ginger. Like I almost died.
Yeah? Did
Yeah.
you have freckles?
No. Like the plant, dude. The
well,
plant.
it's
Holy shit, did he chase you?
it's cilantro, and actually I'm allergic to bananas, so
Oh, it's a particular.
yeah. Well, because bananas share the same chemical compound as latex,
Oh.
so the peel on the inside is latex.
Oh.
Oh. So
So
you have a latex allergy as well.
slight. Yeah.
I have another question. This is one I just not just thought of, but like it just came to me. It's a question I've heard somewhere before, but let me fuck. What was it? It's
Don't ask me.
yeah, brain freeze. Something about like, could you eat? Would you rather eat only one meal for the rest of your life, or only be able to eat one meal one time? Like you can eat a thing and you can never eat that again.
Ooh. That's a crazy question.
You know what I mean? You eat steak tartare, done. You can't eat that. Or you could eat steak tartare the rest of your life, but that's all you could eat.
Okay.
And if you pick one, which one? Like, what would be that one meal if you do go that route?
Well, I rather eat one dish and be done with it, and move on through the journey of life with different flavors,
Right.
and then
man.
so
I like
it's
that fucking answer.
so it's a grandma's Portuguese bean soup.
Right.
I'll never have it again,
But you have the memory of
but I
it.
have the memory of it.
Right.
So I'll be able to have it as long as it's made like the best possible way.
Mhm.
Right.
Like you give me like 5-star Michelin chef,
Well,
making me
yeah, but whatever you want. Yeah.
yeah,
but
making
you're
me
just-
that fucking whatever, otoro slice uni
'Kay.
truffle thing, whatever.
Now, here's the thing. Is it the ingredient you can't have again, or is it the actual dish? Because you can have, like,
Yeah,
otoro
no, the
sashimi
dish.
and
Yeah.
otoro, like,
Yeah.
fucking
yeah,
nigiri.
like,
Yeah, it's a dish, the
variation.
dish.
Oh, shit. Then bring that on,
Like
dude.
you can
That's
have a fucking spicy ahi poke bowl, and then you can have a fucking shoyu poke bowl, and then you can have fucking this poke bowl and this poke bowl, and you can have rice. But like once it's like that one meal, that's done.
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
yeah,
right
I would.
there.
You might hit the
Yeah.
fucking jackpot of flavors that makes you nut in your pants, and it's like, oh, I'll never have it again.
Yeah.
But you know what you're after, so you can look for another dish to have that, and like
Just change one
got
ingredient,
that
it's
in my
different,
back
yeah.
burner for once a week.
But like it doesn't count because it's the same dish. You altered it a little, so
Yeah.
it's, technically you can't have that
Yeah.
ever again.
But
No, but same
Nope.
thing like otoro nigiri and otoro fucking sashimi. You're still having otoro, but in different ways, right?
Yeah, but that's completely different ways. If you say like, fucking a
One's just
fucking-
on rice.
I don't
one's
know. I'm
just
trying to
tucked
think of an
into
example
rice.
where it's.
You know what I mean? That's all there is. Umami. That's all it is, dude. It's just
Yeah,
like,
I guess you're right. Then no, you can't have that then.
oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I can have otoro?
Oh, how about
only
this one?
Once?
How about this? You had sushi one time. You can never have sushi
Nah,
again.
Fuck you, dude.
You better eat all. You better eat all the iterations of sushi, or you're
No,
fucked.
No, that's fucked up. You can't do that. You can't do like because you'll be
Make
over.
your choice, but no, that's the choice, dog. Now does that change the answer? Like,
oh, it does.
say
It
like
does.
you eat a corn dog, you can never have a hot dog again
Fuck
ever.
that,
Like
dude.
you gotta pick
Y'all
your hot
put a-
dogs.
put a
Dude, you're
steak in it.
funneled into like a very short time of like experiencing stuff because
Well, that's like saying like, hey, okay, you can only smoke weed once, but there's tons of strains out there, but that's it.
Yeah.
You're
No,
o-
yeah, that
You
totally.
can only smoke one joint for the rest of your
Well, yeah,
life.
the parameters of these
Yeah.
deals aren't supposed to be
Yeah.
fair.
no, fuck that.
That's
dude.
like getting high once and reaching heaven and being like, oh, I
You're
can
done
never
with-
go back.
Wait,
Yeah,
a
you're
minute.
done with
So
weed, bro. But
that
then you
would
could
be-
do. Nope, you're
No,
done.
if you're talking about strains.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
you can't because it's weed. Still,
it's weed.
it's still
you
cannabis.
Smoked, you smoked
Oh
weed.
yeah, I see what you're
Yeah.
coming from.
So it's so.
But then you could eat weed, but then you're done eating
but
weed.
I'm talking about like
But you can't have the same one.
Oh, I don't even know if you could even eat weed because it's still consuming weed.
Yeah.
right. But if you're talking about okay, once you have this strain, you can't never have that strain
Mhm.
again. I'm
Yeah.
like, whew. I think I'd rather go with just one strain for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Depends. Depends on who grows it.
If it's grown by the guru.
It's grown with a guru. Give me some
Nah.
consumption any day.
Oh shit! Hey, shout out to Professor P. I got the Cali
Professor
Snapple
P?
and consumption coming out, and I got the orange socks and consumption coming out. So,
Orange socks. My son has orange
Ooh,
socks.
bro. That orange socks sent me
I
to the
shouldn't have said that.
fucking
That was
moon,
weird.
Still
dog.
don't have. I just still didn't get enough the orange cheese from last time. So.
Oh, dude, I have
Oh.
for you coming up, buddy. I got it.
Nice.
Okay.
Organic grown. It's gonna be fucking nice.
Let me know.
That's all you.
Cool. Where can people come check you out at?
Huh?
Where can people
Oahu
check
Garden
it?
Supply,
Oh, I can't read.
94150, Leo Street, Waipahu, Hawaii, 96797.
Beautiful.
Beautiful,
Waipahu.
majestic, rustic,
Historic.
historic
Waipahu.
Waipahu.
Every Thursday night.
Every Thursday night.
What about this? Would you, if you had to, would you rather, what, is that what these are called, right? Would you rather questions, yeah? Would
Yeah.
you rather only be able to cook infused
Marry
meals
one,
or
kill one, fuck one.
non-infused meals for the rest of whatever, ever again?
Probably non-infused. Yeah, because the variety that I can expand with non-infused.
For real.
Because you're looking at, like, do I want to get high every single time I eat?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
Right.
like, that goes
Like,
for you making
I mean,
food for
some-
yourself, too.
Yeah, some people like that. But like, I
You
don't
got
think.
shit to do
Yeah,
today.
I got shit to do today.
Yeah.
It's
you
like, I
know?
heard about this great chef, but his shit is super fucking
Yeah.
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah,
Food's so good you won't remember.
yeah. Make it, unrememberable.
So did you answer that question, or would you smoke one strain for the rest of your life, or?
Oh, that question. I rather. I'm an adventurous type, so I will smoke it. I will enjoy it and take whatever joy and or whatever criticism from that one time that I have it, and remember it and log it in, and at the end of the light in the tunnel, I'll be like, you know what? Damn, that was some good cheddar sparkles.
Yeah.
You know?
see?
So it's I like having it as a sensory and as more of a memory. Because that's it's that's what life is, right?
Right. Look
Bunch
at
of memories and
Topher through the path of life, just
Yeah.
traveling.
Your experiences.
experience it, and that's how and if anything, this pandemic has taught us is just keep hustling, keep going, and
Don't
then
talk about the pandemic here.
but just keep going and just explore and just never give up.
Adapt.
I agree. I would take one and be done.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to say, like, and I don't know if it changes.
Sour diesel.
It probably still doesn't even change your answer, but, like, let's just assume that there's an infinite amount of strains, because somebody could be like, you smoke them all before you die, and you'd never be able to smoke weed again.
Then
That's a
that's,
possibility.
that's fine.
Nah.
Well, we learned
No.
about phenotypes, right?
Nah.
So essentially, that's kind of if it's an F1, it's kind of a different fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because you'll never hit the same combination. So essentially, it's the same. It's
Yeah, and
And
it
actually-
depends on how
experience.
deep you want to go with that question.
Right.
Like, do I want to cross sour diesel with something else? And
You're
so
breeding your own
yeah.
fucking
Does it
stuff,
all of a sudden like eliminate it from there? So you're looking at the
It disappears from the face of the earth everywhere.
yeah.
Everybody else's plants, too, so if you went...
Yeah.
shit.
Once
It's like
you're
the
done-
rapture.
Someone smoked fucking sour diesel. Like, you son of a bitch.
Watch in the middle of it. You're like, oh, whoa.
It just it
Gone.
floats.
Yeah.
No.
It just
everywhere.
it just raptures out.
Yeah. You have a fucking pound of like sour diesel. Just
Fucking Topher, you smoked sour diesel, didn't
someone
you,
must have
this
smoked
bastard?
a fucking bowl of sour. And it'd be crazy. Like, it was just a tiny one hitter
Yeah.
that just ruined sour diesel
Yeah,
for everybody.
Like, you just
Yeah.
had a little bit.
You
like,
mean
oh,
to
I
tell me it
just
wasn't a fat joint? You
Yeah.
fucking guy.
Yeah.
Or what would even be worse is that someone smoked sour diesel and you're just about to light up sour diesel, and then you inhale it. You're like, "Fucker sold me not sour diesel."
Oh,
Oh,
So
right,
you'll never
right,
know
right, right.
what it really was in the first place.
right.
So that all of a sudden like eliminates like whatever you didn't know.
Kaput?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
dude.
so yeah, you get that you get that experience of like, oh, someone like duped me with Blue Dream instead of Sunday Driver.
Right. Dude, that transition of like when Blue Dream was the most counterfeited strain, I mean, still kind of is.
So
but
it is. Yeah.
I mean, there's like, Runts. Runts is a pretty counterfeited
Runts.
strain.
Girl Scout cookies.
Skittles.
I mean, you start now you start looking at strain names and how it how it affects the industry.
Right.
You know.
And that's another fucking can of worms right there.
It
you
is.
know? And especially like you as a cook, kind of rely on the name of the strain to showcase your dish. You know what I mean? Like, so someone that frequents the cannabis scene would be like, oh, this is Runts. They know how it's going to taste, right?
Yeah.
Immediately. So with that, it's like they have an expectation for this terp profile that you need to provide.
Yeah.
So authenticity is kind of an important thing for you, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. Like with Dynasty and shit, it's awesome how his terp profile is pretty unique when you come into his strains.
Yep.
The combination of the terpenes that's coming into it, it's pretty unique, like Pineapple Fields. Man, I took that dab from like Echo Extracts that he gave me. It was like a hash rosin. Didn't have that complexity to it. Like, I smoked a lot of fucking rosin, and the complexity that had was just like a little metallic, overripe fucking pineapple. You know what I mean? It's just real pungent. But I could imagine what that's bringing into the receptors with that entourage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, then that's where you start getting like deeper into the genetics about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still a sour diesel, but then you start looking at, you're looking at the grower now.
Right.
They're like, like
their methods.
Their methods
Yep.
from indoor, outdoor, light, LED, LCD, nutrients,
Right.
organic, non-organic,
Yeah.
So it starts changing it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, hey, this is Hawaii Blue Dream. Is it still Blue Dream when you still do it?
Right.
But if it's labeled from the original genetic and you can trace it back, it is.
Right.
But it doesn't taste like it because of environment, stress.
Exactly, dude.
The phenotype is a little
Phenotype.
different.
Yeah,
Depends if you
phenotype.
got it from a seed or a cut.
Yep.
But if I got a cut,
Oh, that's true.
my cut would be essentially the same as your cut, but the method that I grow it is different.
Could
than
be
the method
different,
you,
right?
You
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
The total outcome of that plant's going to come different. Slight, subtle, nuances that's the same, but for the most part, everything is fucking different. Bro.
Right. Like
You
if
know?
you totally stray from like the kind of prescribed way of growing it, that's
Right.
when you get
Yeah, and that's why you
Varying.
come to a Wahoo Garden Supply and you talk to
the grow guru.
and he
Right.
teaches you how
Or
to change
Kaleo.
Yeah.
Kaleo's
Oh,
also here.
Kaleo.
He's super knowledgeable,
Yeah.
man. He can help you out.
because he's super.
Superb. Superb.
Yeah. Can we talk about the lunar hair?
Huh? you lead
Yes.
that one, bruh.
Yeah. So
the
fucking.
lunar hair, you son of a bitch. Okay, got
like
it.
how I
now.
did that.
I like that spin.
Fuck.
Yes.
Feel free to use that if you want to. But we have them up here. I don't know if you can zoom in or punch in or whatever.
So-
Insert here.
Three words: miso, caramel, brownie.
Miso caramel brownie.
Fuck.
I've never heard those three.
Umami.
I heard caramel
Umami.
and brownie
Umami.
together, but never with the
Umami.
miso.
Yeah.
Umami. So yeah, so you started. Yeah.
Yeah. It started originally called Alchemy and Craftsman. It started out because the Hawaiian alchemist was started to take on its own little life of things, and I was doing a little more edibles in a sense of personalized, and the feed itself, still trying to create a brand, trying to create an image, was being curated by and dominated by a lot of these edibles. Was it desserts and everything? So my feed started to look from fine dining plate ups to dessert, and I was like, I need to change this. So I pushed all the edibles and all the dessert stuff, the sweet stuff, off to
Confectionaries and shit.
confectionaries to what was originally called Alchemies and Craftsmen, and eventually Alchemy and Craftsmen. The original idea was to keep it elevated and keep it, nice and keep it straight and give you, fill a niche for edibles here to where everybody's looking at the edibles, in Hawaii, and they're like, oh, hey, or in general, the stigmatism of edibles, just brownies, Rice Krispies, and I'm like, you know what, we can do brownies better.
Yeah.
We can do Rice Krispies better. I'm not gonna give you just Rice Krispies that you can make from the box.
Right.
How about I make you brown butter, and sage, Rice Krispie. How about I give you miso caramel brownies?
You made Cheez-Its, dog. I was
Yeah.
fucking tripping.
Cheez-Its?
You made
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. I
You
was like,
made your own Cheez-Its
Made Cheez-Its. I made crackers from
Like-
scratch.
from scratch. Holy
Yeah.
fuck!
We
You
did-
didn't
yeah.
just dust your fucking
no,
Yeah.
your
no.
Cheez-Its
Never
from a box
roll-
and
Yeah.
put
rolled out
put
fucking-
a random number of milligrams on a fucking cellophane bag and heat seal
Bro, I'll
it.
be fucking going through Instagram like, this motherfucker's reading my mind.
Why
all
Cheez-Its?
creeped out. I'm
Why
like,
you like Cheez-Its?
I insanely love Cheez-Its. And what was the other thing you fucking cooked? I was like, dude, get out my fucking head. Like, it was crazy. I was like, how
That's
the
the
fuck is
thing.
he
Like
knowing this
snack food, Cheez-Its, chips, anything like snacky I fucking can get with.
Yeah, it's so it was trying. It really wanted to just change the mentality of how it's
The
been.
marshmallow.
The
That's
marshmallow.
what it
Yeah.
was.
What?
I hate marshmallows.
Just a marshmallow?
Mhm.
I fucking hate marshmallows, but I fucking like that marshmallow.
But how do you change the
dude.
marshmallow into something different? You know, like
How do you even fucking make a marshmallow?
That's his. That's his deal.
Okay,
bro.
I
I
don't
didn't
have to-
ask.
Trade secret.
I
Trade
just
secret.
fucking ate it, dude. It was like
I
the
mean, I'm
best
sure-
marshmallow I've ever had.
Yeah, I'll just stick a needle with some oil and then
Yeah.
here's your
Yeah.
infused marshmallow.
Oh, that's
And there's-
so fucking
yeah, there's
hood.
there's a lot of people who do that. So we won't.
It's gangsta, bro.
Yeah, we
That's
won't.
hood as fuck.
We
dude.
won't mention some of those people who do
But
it.
anyway, yeah.
You bite into it, it's just like coconut
So
oil.
Yeah.
you made a marshmallow from scratch,
Yes.
which in itself is a feat.
Yeah.
So fucking,
It's truly inspired by because as with a pastry background, I can make these, but also somebody in California by Mellows, shout out to her, was started a infused marshmallow company,
Mhm.
and in Hawaii, we get to see all this other like magnificent like edibles that are being made and brought to a legal market,
Right.
in California, Oregon, and all that stuff. It's like we don't have that here.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't have that here. We can't bring it over and then, or a dispensary can't buy from another dispensary or another brand and bring over cannabis because we can't ship product over.
Right.
So what do? You make it yourself.
Yeah. And you
So-
figure out how to make
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah, and then it caught on to the point where like, oh hey, I can do it.
That's what's
know?
cool about Hawaii because we're all forced to single source here.
Yeah, we're all forced to start creating.
Yes.
And if we don't do it, then we can't experience it without, going, hey, I got this from the mainland. And it's like, oh, so you got, coconut oil soaked, sour gummy bears. Or you got a nerd rope? Wow.
Right.
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 Like, how about I make you a nerd rope myself?
Right. I
You
make
know?
some fucking Cheez-It stuff.
Yeah.
Learn how to
What?
make the candy. Learn how to make the fucking
Yeah.
nerds.
Yeah, so that's the whole process.
Oh,
You start
man.
making all that, and you start looking at it like, if people are buying this crappy stuff, I want to make it better. I want to do it for the island. I want to do it for the people.
Fuck yeah.
Or I want to do it for me.
Mhm.
It's selfish. Be like,
Mhm.
I'll make it once and call it a day.
Right.
Well, can you make your shit a little less strong for that's my selfish request so that way I can eat a ton of it?
The original idea between also like alchemy and craftsman was to start teaching like dosaging,
Mhm.
because in Hawaii and just in general and anywhere, people look at and they only look at potency.
Mhm.
And then, they look at potency and they're like, oh, I only want to buy it because it's 100 milligrams.
Mhm.
And, I'll say this on the podcast. Anything in California, price-wise, this is gonna probably blow people's minds.
Mhm.
The pricing in California for a 100 milligram edible is usually about anywhere from $15 to $20.
Mhm.
So if you see anybody out there, selling an edible for 100 milligrams or for like 300 milligrams for like at like a homegrown rate
Mhm.
of like $35, you're getting ripped off.
Right.
Or they're not
Right.
testing it,
Right.
because
Or
everything
was
that,
that recalled shit?
Right.
yeah, yeah, and
Smoky OG.
yeah, yeah, handmade, not sprayed.
Right.
So it's and that's part of what alchemy and craftsman was. It was to create edibles that you can eat that are accessible on the level of like correctly dosed.
Mhm.
Because if you eat 100 milligrams and that's it, you're done.
Right.
But how do you dose out something like a brownie? Because if you eat one, like if someone ever give you a brownie and say, oh, only eat a quarter or take a bite,
How the
but
fuck
like,
can you do
yeah,
that?
how do you
They
do
don't
that?
know what the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like they don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like-
a brownie. Who eats a quarter
Oh,
of a
guess
fucking
what?
brownie,
Yeah.
dude?
All of it went to that one corner, and guess what? That's the corner you ate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
1/4
I've
didn't
never
work out,
picked-
did it?
yeah.
25%
I've never picked up a
chance of
piece of
living.
a brownie and then ate only half of it. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I
Yeah.
fucking eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
every
eat the
time.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
And they-
refer back to the fucking first episode about that chocolate that did us both in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, we were functional and it was fun. I think
It was. I wanted to eat more fucking chocolate though, because like chocolate was
Yeah.
on.
that's
Oh,
the white chocolate one.
That was the cookies and cream.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about me. I can fucking whack an entire bag of chips by myself in one sitting while watching TV
Yes.
or while working at. Yeah, fucking Anu knows what's up. So like a whole bag of chips at 100 milligrams
Yeah.
would be fucking cherry. Because maybe I won't eat the whole bag. Maybe I eat half.
That's if you can remember.
Nah,
halfway
but,
through.
Right.
but like
Yeah.
for someone like me, 100 milligrams is doable. Like I'm not gonna lose my shit over 100
That's what, a
milligrams.
tenth of a gram?
Well, it depends. Like
Mhm.
so.
Like a Lay's potato chips, however many ounces of whatever
Mhm.
net weight, 16.
Well, it depends on like
Potency and shit.
potency and whatnot.
Mhm.
Because if you're looking at, for instance, what we're smoking today, if you're looking at sour diesel, and it tests out at like 18%,
Mhm.
and a little bit of short math, in order for you guys to figure it out, if you know your percentage of your THC on your bud, you're just gonna add a 0 to the end of it, and call it a day. So if it's 18%, 1 gram is 180 milligrams of THC.
Mm.
So that's the simple way to calculate math and do edibles.
But that's not like
That's
100% accurate though.
That's
That's
weight
just like
versus potency.
right.
Yeah.
So 1 gram of biomass would be 180 milligrams.
100
And are they like
milligrams.
regulating or checking to see like which one they're putting on their packaging, that or like actual like
Yeah.
THC percentage?
Well, this is
content?
for like the home cookers too that
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of
for
like
the
want
home
the
cookers.
ballpark
Yeah.
of
So if
guesstimation
yeah.
kind. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
Test your flour.
if Uncle gives you
Test your flour.
if Uncle gives you like an eighth that he grew from his backyard, out of his garage, and like, hey, you're not gonna ask your uncle like, oh, what's the percentage on this?
Right.
right.
So you have to do your best at using an average number.
Mhm.
And anybody who says, oh yeah, I grow anything over 22%, you're like, go fuck yourself. There's no fucking way. Without either using some kind of like some high percentage nutrient that's synthetic.
But see, here's the other thing. At one point in time, does your THC content go up and your terpene content go down?
Yeah.
And a lot of things could be just specific cannabinoid production in the strain.
Mhm.
Like say I grew this one strain and I got it at 18, then I went to 22, then I went back down to 19. My grow practices made that happen, right?
Yeah.
But to say like, oh yeah, I get like 27 or I get like 30, that's impossible, dude.
Right. How do you know?
I mean, it's a high number.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I'm sure some people reach those numbers, but
Yes.
like, it's not a consistent number.
Yeah, it's like it's a particular dispensary had released something for their 420, and it was a well-known strain name from a dispensary, and we won't throw them under the bus because
We would like to love everybody.
we
on this
love
podcast.
everybody, and
Mhm.
the fact is that they're
Yeah.
technically
Especially if they want to sponsor us.
yeah, well, especially if they're they're technically working to try and actually better the community.
Right.
So that's a whole different podcast we can do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But they came out with a strain that tested at like 28%,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Alright.
no. Well, I was like, wow, how come you guys can't do that with the rest of your product?
Mhm.
So, you only release one strain at 28% at the at 420.
One of the
and you're
biggest marketing
days of the year to
Yeah.
bring everybody in. And I'm like, why can't you hit that number consistently then? What's wrong with you? What did you do wrong?
Or what did you do right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are these tests legit?
Yeah. Well, it all depends on the test and how it's done.
Right.
Because you can look at
Who's getting paid to play?
Yeah, who's getting paid to play, or how the test is done. Because if you
Mhm.
start looking at spectrolysis and all that kind of stuff, you
What
look
type
at
of test?
yeah,
you
what
know?
type of test? So you're looking at overgassing, before. Or you're looking at black light after. You look at CO2 injections before it. That kind of stuff. And also, you can also look at where the testers, not to say that any laboratory that's regulated by the government is doing their job. They are, but the thing is, the labs that are doing this, a lot of people have that skepticism about hey, who's paying the lab to do this, or who's not doing their job, or who's like
Well,
fudging the number type
Let's
of thing.
say that no one's paying off nobody. It could be a simple factor as your machine got off calibration.
Yeah.
And
Or-
is there like a regulatory board or system that checks the fucking testers? Like
Department of Health, I believe, would be a regulatory figure.
the state Department of Health?
Yes,
yeah,
it
gotta
would be a
state, yeah.
regulatory figure
Yeah.
to kind of
Yeah.
oversee the whole testing facility. And
But is the state really equipped to verify? Like, they probably just gotta take the lab's word for it. Like,
No.
our shit works. Like, do they have scientists that can?
yes,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Just checking.
really qualified
I
guys
just-
that really know what
don't
they're
have
doing.
faith in it.
Yeah, it's the faith in the government. It's the faith in testing. It's the faith
Yeah.
in all that other skepticism, especially when you don't believe that you're not putting out fire. You know, especially if you're a grower and you're like, hey, I think I'm putting out anything, 18 to 22 plus.
Mm.
You know, so and then all of a sudden, like, the government tells, or the lab tells you it's 15 to 12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fine, take it.
Mhm.
Be cool with the fact is that you've made 12 to 15%.
Right.
It's a disbelief of then, like, knowing that, hey, I'm not making high potent stuff.
Right.
But pay more for the full spectrum and find out maybe your terpene profiles are banging.
Right.
Mhm.
A good
Right.
example was the consumption.
And then
The
what? Make it into
consumption-
concentrates, right? Or
Well,
something?
no, it could be just like it's good smoke because the terpenes made that cannabinoid really readily available.
Mhm.
So you could have a high, and this is coming from someone that told me, a reliable source. I haven't double checked it or found out I'm sure there's a scientific explanation about it. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. But he was saying that sometimes terpenes inhibit the absorption of cannabinoids. So you could have a high number, but because you don't have the certain terpenes in that to help that travel process, you're getting instead of a 27, you're getting a 12.
Yeah.
You're actually
You know what
getting it
Yeah.
12 out of a 27.
Right. So
Yeah.
like the consumption, I know the consumption tested out at like 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 15%, but it smokes like a fucking 23%.
Yeah.
Like you get really fucking high off of it, right?
Because of all that terpene entourage effect shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's the best example that somebody gave to me was that CBD and THC and terpenes are all like a car,
Mhm.
So the body is THC, the driver's wheel, the gas pedal is CBD, and then the steering wheel is terpenes, because they tell the THC and the CBD and all of the
What tunnel to go
yeah.
into?
Yeah, they tell the cannabinoids where to go.
Mhm.
So they're the drivers. So they tell you, hey, they need to go down to to make you less depressed. They need you to speed up the mental aspect. They tell
Right.
you to create more.
Right.
So it's a car.
It's like aromatherapy, bro.
And like
Yeah.
Rick Simpson says, you need a lot of it, right? High dosage is
Of
best.
both THC and
And
CBD.
Yeah, for it to work.
So you need a big, fast car,
Yeah.
A
Big
fucking
fast-
bus, bro.
Yeah.
Super ferry.
but
Yeah.
souped up like with a fucking.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't need to
Rocket.
be in there fast per se. It just needs to get in there.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
America, about bigger is fucking faster is better.
Yeah. It's
Faster, stronger,
it,
harder.
it goes back to
Kanye.
that whole idea of like potency, where it's comparable to like alcohol. Like if you're gonna drink alcohol to get fucked up, I'm gonna give you 151, or
Right.
I'm gonna give you Everclear.
Mhm.
Does that taste great? No.
But you're getting fucking smashed.
Yeah, you're getting
You will
smashed.
yeah, it'll get the job done.
Yeah, it'll get the job done. But now if compare that to cannabis. How if I give you 30%, whatever 28%, does it gonna smoke well? So it's a
No,
it's
it's out.
Are you
it's
gonna
a
have a
it-
good time after
yeah.
or the high?
Right.
Yeah. Are you gonna feel good about it? No, maybe not.
Right.
So it's
Right.
it's not just about potency.
Mhm.
It's like shout out to anyone else. For creating anything from like 6% to 4%. Their beers.
Right.
It's you drink a lager, it feels great. It's
Right.
it's not high in proof, but you can smash a lot of it,
Yep.
and you'll get there, but you're
Slower.
enjoying it.
It
Yeah.
tastes good. That's why.
It tastes great.
It's a crispy drink. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, something that you can stretch and enjoy
Yeah.
in mass
Yeah.
versus like a heavy IPA
I like
or a
that same-
stout
yeah.
where it's like it's a sipper. You have to sip it to slow that car down. If you drink it like you would a lager, you would get fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, I like that same concept applied to edibles too. That's what I'm saying.
Right? Microdose.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Properly dosed.
Properly dosed. Yeah.
Properly.
Properly.
And that's why.
Well, no, because I like to snack on shit.
Right.
So like maybe even micro dosed, but by the time I'm done with it, I've
You're
consumed.
macro-dosed.
I've macro dosed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I want to sit there for an hour and eat delicious.
well, you don't want
fucking-
one gummy bear to be 100 milligrams. You just have one fucking gummy bear.
Yeah,
You
I
wanna have
want
a bag of gummy bears.
yeah.
to be
Who
100.
eats one gummy bear?
Exactly.
Right?
And there's these companies or whoever these people making these super fucking high one thing that's like, all right, like I want to fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, and that comes up to the idea of like how do you want to how should it be consumed? Because if you're a patient and you can't sit there. You're an actual medical patient, and you can't sit there and eat a whole bag,
Right.
100 pieces to get there.
Well, for me, I'm a
But-
slob, so
Yeah. But but then you're a medical patient, and you should be it's like a one and done.
Right.
Yeah.
Like so some places only create a 10
You need
milligram
that.
gummy, so you have that right
Yeah,
away
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
instead of having a whole bag. So it goes down to what type of user are you?
Right.
Would it be recreational or adult uses, which the coin term for
Right,
it,
right.
adult use versus actual medical. And you know what? To be honest, I think everybody is a little bit of both.
Mhm.
Right.
Because there are days where it's like, you know what, I don't need it for anything, but I just want to get high.
Yeah.
Or there's days where like, oh man, my leg is killing me. I'm gonna have a nice dosage.
You know what I use that for? Like when I have the flu. Like how people like take NyQuil.
Yeah, feeling well. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're like, I'm gonna take NyQuil and just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna fucking arsehole it up. Whoop, and I'll just go to sleep. Same shit.
Zonk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wake up feeling groggy, just like NyQuil, but I feel like the symptoms are pretty much nullified because I've gotten that rest.
Because in
That's the
reality,
active.
that's what you needed is the
Rest.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let your body fucking take
Heal
care
itself.
of that shit.
Yeah.
So
And-
yeah.
And a high dose of THC ain't bad either.
Right.
No.
I mean, there's an anti
Inflammatory. there's fu-
inflammatory.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, it actually fights off fucking diseases too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we mentioned it. Everybody's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't get muddled by the conversation of like, oh well, you're not using it for medical usage. You know what? I'm using it for medical usage on some days. Some other days where I'm just using it for social.
a wise man once told
Yeah.
me recreational is medicinal.
yeah.
It can be.
It's therapy, dude.
Yeah.
If laughter is the best medicine, then all weed is fucking medicinal weed.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's if you can remember that you're on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that a conundrum? You have such a good time, but you can't remember it.
Well,
I
always.
mean, remember?
Nah, I do now.
Well,
like,
now
in
we
my
are
30s.
having
Yeah.
it fucking
Yeah.
emblazoned on the internet for all to remember.
Yes.
We got
These are good
photographic
times.
evidence.
Right. So, are you infusing any other types of confectionaries with other things other than THC?
Yeah, we're getting more into mushrooms, and it's for some reason mushrooms itself and psilocybin have been exploding across
Mm-hmm.
the ideas of the last couple years of
Right.
mycology and
Mhm.
all that kind of things, where people are now trying to find a different not just a different drug, but a different way for us to get in touch with ourselves,
Yeah.
and start reconnecting.
Right.
And that's the best thing with psilocybin is that's what mycology and mycene and all that mycelium does, is that it reconnects things.
And also, they're using, they're recognizing psilocybin as more of a therapeutic thing, and in the military, they're using ketamine, right, to treat people with
Mhm.
PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're starting to transition or see that psilocybin has more therapeutic benefits than ketamine, so they're adapting that as a more natural alternative to that therapy for
Yep.
PTSD.
Because they can use it more out in the field, and it's also more readable.
Let me fucking lay this shit to rest. I gotta lay it to rest.
Go ahead.
Macrodose can be therapeutic, and
Mhm.
it is to some people on some diagnosis. Macrodoses shouldn't be used if you're using it as medicine. It shouldn't be used as a way for recreation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clear difference between cannabis, in my opinion. Cannabis as recreation and medicinal are pretty much neck and neck. Psilocybin, recreational and medicinal, have to be separated completely.
Mm.
If you want to do it in a recreational sense, I do not recommend macrodosing. That is for people who really need like that ketamine. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They need that. So
What what is considered a macro?
I mean, you know how Paul Stamets talks about the hero's journey, like the 3.5 grams, and like
That's Terrence.
that is cool and all. I get it, but at the same time, if you have something you need to work on, you need as like a daily supplement, a vitamin, a neurostimulant.
Mm-hmm.
Macrodosing is not the way to go.
Right.
Sometimes that nullifies all the benefits of a microdose because you've overdone it with the macrodose, and it. I mean, I've seen people fucking macrodose and totally like, oh, you know what, I'm good. So that whole neurostimulant and the benefits of it, they miss out on that shit.
Right.
You know, and it's like, stick to the microdose.
Mhm.
You know, you're not supposed to get fucking high off of it.
Mhm.
It's a mood enhancer. It's not like I'm gonna get fucked up. You take it and you use it as a mood enhancer or correct whatever things that you want to correct, given that that's the proper prescription for it to correct.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know, with that saying that it's still there are people who just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And you know, kudos to you, whatever.
Yeah.
But we need to draw that line in the sand because there's people who need it and there's people who fucking use it as recreation.
Yeah.
Well, that's all for you,
Right.
but over
There's-
time it's going to lose its benefit. And the benefits to me, if you're really looking for the benefits for psilocybin, is microdosing.
Mm-hmm.
There's always gonna be those people who are doing 3-gram fucking dabs on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's always that guy, you
right.
know,
So there's always gonna be who-
nose
Yeah.
dabs or shit like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Or somebody's gonna ask me for a 1,000 milligram brownie, and I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I'll charge you for it appropriately.
Yeah.
Right.
And then fuck.
If you want it,
Yeah.
good luck.
If you want it, you want a blackout brownie.
Not
then-
everybody's
Right.
Joey Diaz and Lee
Yeah.
Syatt.
well, a lot of people is like, hey, dude, you know, I have an issue I want to fix. Is there anything? I was like, you know what? Do your research on psilocybin. See if it fixed that issue that you're looking for. If it does, macrodose might not be your way.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
oh, I have fucking chronic depression. Okay. All right. I got PTSD. Whatever. Okay. If you're going to take it to treat that ailment. You know what I mean? Say, I got depression. Okay. Fucking mushroom gummy is going to get you all giddy and happy, you know, give you the energy, give you that push. So that's what you got to correct.
Yeah.
Now, some guys will be like, nah, fuck that. I want a stronger dose. I want to feel something. I'm like,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I want to feel something is the biggest thing.
Right. Okay. You want to feel something. I get it. But what are you truly after? Are you trying to get high or are you trying to fix that fucking issue that you got going?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
But-
also it comes down to also like, you know, what is, you know, a trip or a ride or an idea when it happens. You know, we all have this, you know, image of, you know, Jefferson Airplane, fucking 1960s.
Right.
You know, super glowy
submarine.
yellow submarine, Dumbo's fucking alcoholic journey and floating purple
Right.
elephants. You know, there are visuals,
Right.
but to clear that up is like it's not like super duper, you know, yellow submarine where people
No.
like, where like the floor can technically, you know, in a way
It'll
imagine
move a
it
little bit.
move a little bit, but that's more optical light.
Right.
You know, because it's never like, oh, I'm starting to see, you know, super stars, and
Right.
the idea of what, you know, it takes you on.
To me, it's
is-
textures. Like you can differentiate textures a lot more like abruptly. So
Yeah.
like good example, you're hiking and you see the trees, the leaves, the grass, the hills. You can distinguish those textures super easy, although like you don't get a visual definition of it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're so fucking high, you're just everything's just blended, but you see the textures, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's like it's so obscure that like you're so aware, but you're totally disconnected.
Yeah, it's like going from like, you know, old-fashioned, you know, Renaissance paintings from, you know, or, you know, like Monet where it's like blurry, but then all of a sudden you get into modern day 4K.
right, right.
4K HD. It's like, whoa, what's different? They're
Crispy.
different. Yeah. You go from, you know, a muted palette to a bright palette.
Right.
And you know, just explaining that to people, but you know, there are people who are always going to be like, no, I want to see something, I want to feel something. This is, you know, I'm disappointed in the fact is that I'm not, you know, tripping out.
Well, there's DMT. Go get
Yeah.
it.
Go
You know
get
what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
Go
I
get that
think-
card.
But if you're taking microdosing or anything like that as a therapy or a therapeutically, you also got to couple that with some sort of like mental health or some sort of therapy, other thing. You can't just think you're gonna take mushrooms
Yeah.
and fucking solve your issues on your own.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you know what I mean?
with
Like,
intention.
yeah, with intention.
Well, it's just like the depression thing, right? I'm gonna take it to feel good, but then I gotta solve my depression still. Yeah, I can't just take it to run away from it.
But like, yeah, your microdosing on a daily basis might help you reveal your thoughts to yourself, but you got to go talk about that with
You still
somebody.
need to do the work.
Yeah. It's not. There's
You
not.
don't brush it under the rug with that shit.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and it's worse to just be alone with your thoughts and not have anybody to
Yeah.
at least express that
Well,
to.
that self-evaluation off of mushrooms is what people are after too, right?
Yeah, but you can't. You can self-evaluate yourself, but if you're fucked, your self-evaluation might be wrong. So you might
Well,
have to.
how fucked are you talking?
Well, people with PTSD and
Right.
guilt from coming back when their friends, you know,
Yeah.
their brothers didn't make it. Like that's pretty fucked. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not gonna solve their PTSD.
But it could help
completely.
though. But it also
Yeah.
not just giving them mushrooms and say go think about it and figure it out.
It could make more. It could make them more receptive to therapy.
Yeah, I'm saying that plus therapy. That's what my point is. That
100%.
not just the mushrooms. You
No,
can't just
no.
go like, oh, I like grab
Yeah,
some
that's-
Yeah,
mushrooms.
it's not gonna.
Voices
It's
and
not
I'll be
gonna
better.
fix all. Yeah.
Oh, what? I heard a voice. What?
we're talking about PTSD and any one mental symptoms that mushrooms could somehow alleviate.
Yeah,
And now we're talking micro doses now.
Right.
Okay, so like in a system where you're taking one by one, and you're right. You gotta find your own way through.
Mm-hmm.
And also, microdose
not saying
consent to
you
a
gotta-
macrodose depends on how much you eat.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
saying you
Or
gotta
if
find your
you're-
But
own
this
way.
is
Yeah.
when like there's like a little pop up that says trigger warning, and we refer them to whatever help they need.
Well, we're not fucking doctors or anybody.
Yeah.
We're not professionals.
Uh-uh.
But I'm saying you can't make it through by yourself. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, and that's
not-
why they have a lot of like therapy sessions where they're macrodosing you, and you're guided by somebody who does it,
Yes.
appropriately.
Yes.
Where they, you sit down or you lie down with somebody guiding you through the process.
Together.
Yeah,
Neil-
together.
Neil Brennan, with his therapy, was taking super high doses of ketamine administered in a hospital with his therapist there. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like
Right.
MAPS, for example, who's doing a lot of fucking research and probably responsible why like mushrooms and all that shit is decriminalized in like Portland and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Because of the research they're doing showing the benefits of psilocybin, but again, coupled with some sort of therapy.
Therapy.
Yeah. That's all I'm trying to say. I wasn't trying to say like
This is therapy right here, isn't it?
it is, but because we're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
But again, we are not professionals.
Yeah. We're just expressing opinions here.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is.
Based off experiences, though.
Yeah, based off his
Yeah,
experience.
our own anecdotal
Anecdotal,
experiences
biased experience.
and shit I heard on the internet. You know what I mean?
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Where all things are fact.
Blame Wikipedia. But anyway, yeah. So, but I do think that there is a growing trend of micro dosing. Like it's normalized. Like you hear about it, like the fucking big tech guys in Silicon Valley and shit like that are doing it on a daily basis, and it has very positive fucking benefits for them.
Yeah.
What is-
It's also, you start looking at like psilocybin as a not just a strain, but a culture and subculture, and the
Yep.
type of plant it is,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just very similar to strains. It all has different effects. You know,
Right.
as funny names as they come across now, as like
Penis
dancing
envy.
tiger, penis envy, dancing tiger, Burmese.
Well, that
you
shit's more
know.
human than a plant.
It is
Yeah.
definitely. It's truly. A
Oh yeah,
living
that's what
product.
Fantastic Fungi said.
Yeah,
They breathe oxygen.
it does.
And it's a it's the roots internet, so it connects all living beings in Earth.
So when you're eating,
Yeah.
you're ripping it off from the earth.
Yeah, but you're not killing it because
It's a
fucking-
fruit, though. You're eating the reproductive
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
that
the penis
mycelia.
head, the dick head.
Yes.
Yeah.
the dickhead with the skeet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just fucking skeets all fucking dust everywhere, and just more babies grow.
Yes.
Bruh, the regulatory system of a mushroom, though, is like how the rainforest or any geographical differences you see. It's always influenced by microbiology.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Earth needs one thing, it does it via microbiology, and it regulates itself to where it allows the diversity to thrive.
Yep.
So it's pretty much, that's the closest to Mother Earth we could put in our fucking body.
And when you think about that and how people describe high doses of mushrooms and stuff like that, even like, what is like the word for like medium doses? Not micro, not macro, but maybe like
Doses.
just doses. Daily
Yeah.
daily doses, kind of like Jeopardy, right?
Right.
But fucking like having that connection of feeling connected back to each other and things
Yes.
and the earth and plants and animals and all this fucking hippy dippy kind
Just
of
go in
woo
a
woo
fucking
shit.
drum circle and shit.
Exactly right.
Right.
Your Birkenstocks, you fucking take them off and you walk barefoot for a little while. But I wonder if that feeling also comes because that's an inherent feeling that a mushroom has, because that's what they fucking are. It's connected to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We
cool.
take off your
I
slippers.
expected a little pushback, but that was pretty
Take
easy.
off your slippers and you avatar that bitch.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, totally.
Yeah.
But like when you eat them, like the feeling you get of feeling connected to everything is a transference of the feeling that a mushroom has all the fucking time.
Yeah. Well, I think
Totally opinion based, but I can get with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know shit. It's opinion. I'm not a fucking.
Well, I mean, if you want
mycologist
to,
or-
if you want to compare that to just anything you eat, anything that's living,
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
you eat it and you respect it. You know, that's
Right.
so anything that living off the land. Homesteaders. You know, would it be a cow? Would it be a pig or fish?
Hunted meat.
Hunted meat.
Yeah.
You know, you respect it. You know, North American Indians,
Yeah, but
Hawaiians,
that's
all
no
that kind of stuff.
word,
You know?
100%
We were
cool.
just talking about
But
this right before the podcast.
I'm talking
it's going to trickle into the podcast.
I'm talking specifically just about mushrooms because of their nature and how they are actually physically connected and communicate to everything. Cows, yes, we should have
Are you
reverence.
talking
they're
psychedelic
not-
mushrooms or just mushrooms in
just
general?
mushrooms in general. You know what I
Oh.
mean? They're really good for you. There's a ton of different types of
Yes.
mushrooms that have not psychedelic benefits, but just like
Neurological benefits?
Yeah, or just even like health benefits that
Mhm.
open up like capillaries in your lungs and shit
Yeah.
and do all this stuff. But then there's also a ton of mushrooms that could kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
That is life right there.
Bastards.
hmm
It's like the evil. Maybe there's like good and evil mushrooms, and there's all that connectedness
Well, that
is like
shit's not
a
meant
war.
for us.
You know what I mean?
That mushroom probably serves a different purpose than us eating it.
Has there ever been an experiment, or do you know of like when, like say they culture a poisonous mushroom and a like an edible mushroom? Maybe not necessarily psychedelic, but I would be interested to see that as well. Put them like in the same bin and grow them next to each other and see if they like just grow together peacefully, or like one tries to outdo the other. Which one ends up winning?
It depends on the species, I'd believe, because like if two species are a different species, could be in the same family or whatever, whatever. I forget that fucking classes,
Mhm.
but it's usually the rule is first at the table eats first. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Well, I'm talking science here, so you try to find a way to do it like
right. So like
exactly
to
at the same
say-
time. I don't know
to
if that's
say you
even
have
possible.
the exact same colony of population
Mhm.
before you add them together,
Mhm.
that's a very hard thing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So say the numbers are thrown off, right? So you got more population on the right than you do on the left, and you put them in, the right's going to take over the left. Given that there's conflict.
Just because you started with more, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's like
because the
growing.
spores are so small, like you don't know the difference between a billion and like
There's
Yeah.
like
100,000.
8 billion and then like 7 billion.
Yeah.
There's
Right,
no
right.
fucking way you could find out anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like growing a lemon tree and an apple tree together. The lemon tree takes longer to produce fruit.
Uh-huh.
Technically about 5 years. An apple tree is 3 years.
Not if it was a race,
If
the
it
apple
was a
tree
race-
would win.
Yeah,
all
apple
the
tree
time.
will win.
No, but
But
like,
the
yeah.
thing is, the lemon tree might pull more nutrients from the apple tree, and it becomes environmental.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like what's feeding it more? What's
And-
getting it more?
But that'll
What's
be
more
interesting to
favorable
watch,
for its
right? That'll be
survival? Oh, yeah.
interesting to watch as like a science experiment.
Yeah.
To
Well, you
like,
can get a
find that.
petri dish or even a fucking slice of bread and do
Yeah.
that exact same.
Because
thing.
what if like fucking the good mushroom, even if you started with way less amount than the fucking deadly mushroom,
Mhm.
wins every time?
It could be because
'Cause
maybe
good
that
always
deadly
wins over evil.
Oh, you fucking guy! I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah. or the good mushroom took over the bad mushroom, and it actually now bad for you, but it still looks the same.
We'll test that too. That could,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Oh,
the
that's
bad mushroom still holds
even
its
more
It influenced
Yeah.
each other.
more
influences-
sinister.
yeah.
Cynical.
So
I
the
like
bad
that.
mushroom that's supposed to be bad
Dark.
for you now becomes good for you.
That bad mushroom was like the bad friend, that little bad
And if that-
influence.
Yeah.
And then by testing this, it accidentally leaks out of your laboratory, and then it fucking propagates the world in
and
all
umbrella
mushrooms.
just comes up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then we all, Resident Evil style and
Yeah.
Silent Hill that thing.
No, fuck, I gotta piss.
I think
I was
that
trying to hold it as long as I can, but I really.
if
gotta
you can
pee.
do an experiment at home with a fucking slice of bread, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rub some shit on each side of the bread, draw a line down the middle, and see who takes over first. you know what I mean? It's the same
yeah.
shit.
Same thing.
It's
with
the agar
shit.
dish, same
Yeah.
shit, dude.
So you can go from either.
Swab your dog's ass on one side, swab your cat's ass on one side, and see which one takes over. You know, fuck, it's pretty much the same shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In the most egregious way, but
Yeah.
you definitely. I don't know if we want to recommend to try that. But it's something I think living, just anything living in general.
Right.
It's survival of the fittest. That's
Right.
what it comes down to.
Right. And like even when you're making soil and shit, when you mix your biology into your soil, you want to make sure the conditions of the soil are favorable for the biology that you put inside.
Yes.
You know, if you're gonna put fucking something that's anaerobic and something that's straight fucking aerated, it's not gonna live. And that's why that whole compost tea action where people aerate it, I get questions all day. Oh, why you put a air stone in it? Because we're trying to get rid of all the pathogenic anaerobic microbes and give the dual purpose, like how Sustainable Newts was saying, give those microbes with dual purpose a chance to survive and thrive, right? So you
Yes.
create an environment for a microbe to do its best job.
Yeah.
Like a bowl of poi, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The homie was fucking swirling in that furry bowl of poi. I mean, those are all the microbes that are from the environment that's going into that starch-rich source, and then, you know what I mean, right there.
Yeah,
Gobble, gobble.
you're just trying to create more good than bad.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
So yeah, I was right then. Basically, I'm just jumping back in this conversation. Good always wins, yeah.
Yes.
That's the intention.
Yeah. Hope that's the hope, right?
That's the hope that
That's
good
what we all
wins.
figure, you know?
Yeah,
Hey, if there's still hope.
yeah. There's still hope.
Cool. Well, we've been going almost fucking 3 hours, guys.
Holy shit, for real?
Yeah.
That was quick. Right on, Topher.
Yay.
Fuck. I feel like, yeah, let's fucking wrap it up just because fucking it's been a long night. You did a lot of fucking cooking.
Yeah, dude.
We can
Fuck.
definitely do a part 2. Be
Fuck.
more than happy.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Fuck.
More than happy to come back and cook
So
again.
I'm going to do another pheno hunt.
Okay.
So I suggest we do a little bit bigger table for the pheno hunt. And I have Cat and Mike coming on.
Get it, girl. How about you fucking just put the two fucking tables together?
Let's
Make a
do
big square.
something because it's a lot of
Make a big
strain.
fucking square.
It's
Make
a lot of phenotypes.
Are we doing more than 15 this
Yes.
time? Oh my god.
15
Yeah.
phenos.
However, I'm going to make dog walkers. I'm going to make
Okay.
small
Okay.
little
Yeah,
one-hit
yeah.
dog walkers. And
Okay.
then I'll just give you guys dog walkers. And you
What's
guys
a
can-
dog walker?
It's they call it a dog walker. It's a tiny half joint that you just smoke while you're walking your dog.
It's kind of like a pencil.
So you're gonna roll one and cut it in half, basically, so that makes two.
Well, I got
Yeah.
that 6-shooter, right? So I'll just half pack the 6-shooters, and then you just have all that fucking joints
Why don't you just full pack them and cut them in half?
because you won't have the crutch in the bottom half.
Fucking roll crutches and put them in the top half.
Come on, man. Don't let me do that. We're going to do the shit super nice. I'd rather do the cone half full, and I can crimp it off, label it, make it look nice. I'll do the whole display prior. I'll have all printed out copies. We'll do this shit legit.
Shh, don't tell the secrets. Remember, I thought you was gonna do a class on how to do it. You was gonna.
No,
fucking,
yeah, I'm just going to make it all legit.
All right,
I'm
all
gonna
right,
print
all
out
right, all right.
copies, and then we're going to do our whole thing. We're not going to go too in depth on the pheno hunt itself, but we're going to go, you know.
That's
in
a
depth to
long
the
night
strain.
again.
I know. I was gonna say 15. It's gonna be even worse by the time you get to the bottom. It's gonna be just like fucking drool stains.
Well, you said more than 15 this time, right?
Yeah, I think there's
more
like-
than 15.
I think there
it's
is 18.
Jesus
We'll make it
Christ.
work. We'll make it
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Cool.
skinny ones.
Yeah,
and-
well, if you just make pencils
Yeah.
out of it, dog walkers.
Take a couple hits, dude, and see if it changes your head.
What
Yeah.
about those little metal one-hitter thingies?
Can.
But
Can.
I don't like the metal, man. That kind of fucking.
Fucks with the taste.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed one guy,
Because you need to clean that metal.
Well, it has to be an
Yeah.
unbiased thing, right?
and then
so
the more it gets mixed in there, it's gonna be fuck with.
because the
we're
resin,
not-
the resin stays in there.
that's not derived from the plant.
But
Yeah.
basically, I think what Clay is trying to say, and what I agree with,
Buckle
is
up,
He's
just-
got
Buckaroo.
he's got a lot of rolling to do.
yeah,
got some shit up
well,
my
you're
sleeve.
fucking welcome back on the podcast anytime, sir.
Ah,
Hell
thank
yeah,
you very
dude.
much.
Fuck, and we appreciate the fucking meal. That was fucking stellar.
Unreal.
I'm glad I could feed you guys, and also for meeting everybody for the first time on some of them too. So, yeah, I get a lot of questions about caterings and whatnot, and so just hit up the DMs. And
Slide in those DMs,
yeah,
folks.
slide in that DMs, and I'll get back to you.
The Hawaiian Alchemist.
Yeah,
On Instagram.
at the.hawaiian.alchemist. Topher Jacob, you can look it up there. Moon Rabbit is taken over by my trainer or my trainee, my protege, if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
go
buddy.
that far. Her name is Mia. She takes over the Moon Rabbit, just so I could focus more on everything at the Hawaiian Alchemist.
Sweet,
We
right.
are busy. I'm busy, not only with a day job, but also looking at other expansions of what the Hawaiian Alchemist could be and what it is. Would it be branding? Would it be doing more caterings?
Yes.
Bookings are coming up. I'll announce them online. It's going to be tight this year. I
Book
might
your boy.
Well,
I-
fuck, anytime you want to come on and promote your shit, fuck, just hit us up and we can have
I'll
you
just
on,
drop
dude.
off to you guys.
Just
and
fucking
you
come
do
on,
it.
yeah.
I'll just drop it off. Here, eat this.
We can consistently have your things displayed here.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm
Right?
saying? All right, fucking, and everybody can come check out the Grow Guru.
Oahu Garden Supply,
Yeah,
94150 Waipahu, Hawaii, 96797.
beautiful Waipahu. And follow me at Voices from the Planet. Whatever. All right. Thank you guys. Fucking.
All right.
Yeah. Oh,
See you guys later.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.